Oh, okay.
All right, y'all. So this is on hip hop and history, and this is um. Well, she popped up a little bit too late, so it's like luckily I had a couple interviews in the bag already, but this is my sister from another mister. We're gonna call her Shay today, and um. Like we like this is of course everybody's love for hip hop, and she just I had to hurry up and go live before she before she finished what she was about to say, but she said her real her introduction to the love of hip hop was breaking. So what was it about breaking that really
I
caught
don't know. Everything, the energy, the flow of music, the mixing of the different songs, like everything about it just stood out to me. It's still today one of my two of my all time favorite movies. I just literally watched Breaking Two with my daughter.
oh
Like I
you be on
introduced
your
her to
electric
Breaking Two.
boogaloo shit.
Huh?
Said you be on your electric boogaloo shit.
Hey, I don't know. It's just something about Breaking and Breaking Two that just drew me in. My mom introduced me to that and I just fell in love. Like, yes. And every time it would come on, when it came on TV, I watched it. I had the VHS version of both of them. I had them on DVD before. Like, I
Yeah, I
don't
had
know. It's just
the
something
first one.
about breaking that just ugh.
It's like, I mean, come on now. When you had Turbo dancing with that fucking broom outside that store, you know,
Yeah.
that was the
That's when
shit.
that
I mean,
was
come
when
on now. Even
everybody
Genuine
originally
had to do
tried
that
that.
shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Genuine had to do that shit too. It was like, and Genuine used to be like the coldest fucking dancer ever to everybody. So it was,
Yep.
so when Genuine redid that motherfucking scene, it was like, oh, okay, well, shit, that's what's up.
And you know, it's a lot of people who do not know that scene came from Breaking originally.
Man. When everybody was standing up brooms and shit, I saw a bunch of people talking about genuine this, genuine. And I'm like, nigga, that wasn't genuine. That was motherfucking turbo.
Like it definitely started way before Genuine. Like y'all
That
need
was
to,
turbo.
like
Like Turbo
y'all just
walked
don't
around the whole damn
understand,
room upside down and all kind of shit was breakdancing
right?
and shit.
Like just show me something different. Show me something else that y'all can do with this broom or whatever. Because I don't know. I don't know. I have yet to see a movie that brings that makes me feel the way Breaking and Breaking Two made me feel when I watched it. Like there has not been not one dancing movie that I have seen that can equate to those two movies.
Okay, not even like Say the Last Dance.
No, nope.
Cause I know that Last Dance, I don't know what it was, but like that, I think it was just the music at the end, like when she did that last little dance number and shit, like that beat, that song was cold as shit. I
I
can't
mean
remember.
the song was nice. Don't get me wrong.
No,
Everything
that's
was
what I'm saying.
nice.
Like I think that's what it really was for me because it was like the dance, the routine she did wasn't really all that cold, but yeah, you might be right. Shit.
I have not seen one, and I look at pretty much all dancing movies that come out because I like to see people dance. I'm
I,
uncoordinated. I am uncoordinated and I'm clumsy. So these are things that I
you
will
watch everybody
never.
else dance.
Yes, like
You
I
feel
get
good.
excited. It really it's not. It's like it's one of the things that's like yes. I don't know. I just like to see the way people bodies flow with different beats,
Right.
whether it's slow or fast or ballet or tap or river dance or whatever. I can watch it all, but like so it's
I
just
don't know.
something
Like
about I don't know.
you said, river dance. River dance is like white people jitting to me.
Yeah, I know. I'm weird. Okay, we already know that. So it's not like
That's,
it's a
I
surprise.
mean, that's
I'm
what
the
that look
weird
like to
one.
me, nigga. That's some white people jitting.
Shut up. I live in Texas, so I don't been to a holdout. I don't watch them do that shit. So I mean, I don't know.
I
But
mean, you
like,
really listen though. Like even when you go to a hold down, it's like okay, they be doing the line dance, and all y'all motherfuckers doing the hustle. Motherfucker.
Exactly.
You ain't,
But it looks so different. Like it looks completely
it don't even look
different.
different because they're like, well, I don't know, because nowadays these black motherfuckers wearing tight ass pants and shit too. But the only difference is the cowboy hats and the boots. Like they wearing cowboy boots and like black motherfuckers doing the hustle on motherfucking Tim's.
Yeah.
That's really the only difference. It be the same fucking shit. It's not a
I don't know. It's just the way that people that the bodies flow. Like it just is moving. Like you don't even have to have lyrics. And if you have someone that's a talented dancer, you can feel the music and their movements, and it brings. I don't know. For me, certain people, certain dancers, or certain songs or whatever, watching people dance to it makes me feel like I can either get the emotional, like real touching moving,
mm-hmm.
or I'll get like that super hype, or I can get any one of them in between or all throughout the whole routine or whatever. It's just something about the way that the body moves, the ability that the body has to do, when it comes to different movements and different being able to hit different beats and different levels of
Right.
different beats. Like it's I don't know. And with hip hop, it's like it's so many different levels. You could have one song,
I
one
mean, you
beat,
gotta think about it.
and it's like,
My bad. Like hip hop had breakers, lockers, all kind of shit. It was like,
yeah. But if you was to take if you could create one epic long like beat that incorporated every version of dance in hip hop,
mm-hmm.
the movement, the movements of the bodies to each one of those will bring some people to tears because it's just I don't know. I can't explain it. It's so beyond me. It's so beyond words for me. I can't explain it. It's just watching it just made me fall in love with it. So I'm like, I gotta listen to it, and then I will listen to music, and I listen to the beat first.
Right.
So I will listen to the same song like 4 or 5 times because I'm listening for different things. So I'll listen to it the first time. I'll listen to nothing but the beat, and I'll zone in on that, and
Right.
then I'll listen to it again, and I might pay attention to the lyrics and say, okay. And then I'll listen to it again. Sometimes I listen to it back to back. I might play the same song 4 times in a row. And
Ain't
each
heard
time
no
I'm listening
words
to
yet.
it, and ain't heard not a lyric.
I ain't heard not one word.
I
Just
done listened to that bitch 4 times and ain't heard
drop
not
it.
a word. By the time the
Drop
fifth
it.
time come
By the
in,
time, listen, by the time you fuck around and pay attention to the lyrics to some nigga talking about, yeah, so I fucked your mama and I dropped it on the forehead. And you be like, hell yeah, this is my shit.
right? And then or there's been songs that I listen to everything. Like I
And
said,
there's
I
a
listen
whole
to it
dance
all.
to it. There's a whole dance to it. You busy trying to do the dance and shit, not paying attention to nothing this motherfucker said.
Nothing. And there have been some songs like by some of these new artists. I never know their names. I just know the song if I hear it. But it was
Their,
one
their
song I
names
listened
are
to.
garbage, 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 garbage. Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole.
It was not Kendrick Lamar. It was not J. Cole. It was definitely one of the garbage ones that was listed. I don't know though.
No,
But
I'm saying the rest of them was garbage, 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 and then you got Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole.
the beat was like, yes, I can fuck with this beat. And I listened to the words and I was like, who the fuck is this? Like, what am I listening to? This cannot be the same song. And then when I zoned in, listened to both the lyrics and the beat, I was like, oh my God, it's the same song. I hate the lyrics, but I like the beat. So
Man.
I would actively either avoid the song altogether. I would just listen to the intro beat and
Okay, now you
then
sound
like
like me.
not listen to it no more because
I
it's
do
like
that. I do that.
I can't listen to it if I don't like the words.
It's like,
Because I listen to it and I like to sing. I can't sing and I can't rap. I sound so funny doing both. But I do it in the car. I don't give a shit. I have my own audience. And I'll do it in the car. And if I don't like the lyrics, I might zone completely out. And if I zone out, I might miss my exit.
hey, the baby
Or
probably love it though. She be like, "Oh, this motherfucker tripping. Let me watch this shit."
listen, I don't let her. She is not allowed on real shit. My baby does not listen to anything later than 2010 of most artists. It's only a handful of artists that I allow her to listen to that was made that came out past 2010.
Like, you know, when my kids are around, they listen to pretty much whatever my nieces are listening to, which is usually some bullshit.
Yeah, they're in this generation.
Right. Me and my sister sat there and had this whole conversation about like how stupid some of the music is that they listen to.
Like, have you ever like just like I've literally you remember back in the day when you would try to learn the words, so you would go and pull up the lyrics.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've actually like done that to certain songs, some of the new artists, and I read their words, and I'm like, ew.
Man, listen, like
Who signed y'all? Like,
it's like
who said this shit is okay?
like ain't none of these motherfuckers got home training. It's
None. None of them.
we was talking about like, okay, I forgot what song my niece was listening to earlier, right? But like out of nowhere, it was just like something about whoever the girl rapper was. She was talking about her pussy, and it was like, wait, whoa.
My sister had listened. I would get in the car before she moved away from here. She every time I would get in the car, Tiana Taylor's song would come on, Pussy. I have no idea what the name of the song is, but I swear to you, it seemed like every time I would get in the car, no matter where we were going, that song played at least one time while I was in a car. And she listened to Apple Music. She didn't make a playlist. She just listened to like random shit for real. And that song always popped up, and it was just always talking about pussy, pussy, pussy. I'm like, cut this shit off. My daughter is in the car. I don't want to hear this. Like this shit. I don't know. I don't understand. It's like our generation was talking about. Granted, they was talking about fucking bitches, getting money, doing this, doing that. But these niggas out here talking about popping drug pills, doing everything under the sun. It's like y'all are dumb. Like none of y'all lyrics make sense for real. I just don't understand. Like what lifestyles are all of y'all living in?
There was a difference in our generation though, because you had like so many different types of rappers as opposed to now where it's just like everybody's the same damn rapper. You know what I'm saying? So where did
the talent go?
It's like we had, you gotta think about it, like we had Digital Underground and on a completely different type of rap. We had Wu-Tang and shit, like, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
we had like the funny ass music, and then we had like the rappers that just made stupid shit. But back in the day, like the people that made stupid shit was like one hit wonders, and that was it.
Except for Weird Al, he did a lot.
Well, see, Weird Al was a completely different monster, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Weird Al was like, okay, he making fun of everybody, so it was
everybody.
Like we enjoyed that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to think about like Weird Al been around since forever.
Since Michael Jackson was black.
Because he made fun of Michael Jackson bad. He made
fun of Beat It. He made fun of everything.
Like later on, he made fun of R. Kelly. He made fun of Chameleonaire.
Yup. Oh, he did. I forgot he did Chameleonaire.
Because remember, it was white instead of rad and dirty. It was white and nerdy.
Yes. Oh, I forgot about that.
And it fucked me up because it was like, okay, this motherfucker Weird Al spitting. Like,
yeah, and he actually did have lyrics though.
Yeah.
I just don't understand where the fuck this new generation of rappers came from. Not even rappers. I don't understand where this new generation of artists came from. Like,
new generation of artists came from a bunch of angry ass black bitter women and
sad bitches, because there's a lot of sad hoes out here.
And whatever the hell,
it's way too many sad hoe music out here.
And whatever the hell goes on in, like, you know, angry white people's mind. Cause like you got like it seemed like everybody out of nowhere was just like, it went from everybody selling drugs to everybody was on drugs. I don't know.
Yeah. It's like it didn't transition properly. It's like it just went from one extreme to the other.
It's like, okay, so basically you were selling drugs
And now you
And
getting high
then,
off your own supply.
right, like now you getting high off your own shit. So it was, it's like to me, like don't get me wrong, like you already know I'm a hip hop head, been a hip hop head forever. You feel me?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like some of this shit is just stupid. Like,
Yeah.
like at least back in the day, like when you had shit like the Humpty Dance, where it was like he said it in the song, like, yo, yeah, just look as stupid as possible.
Yep. That's my shit too.
In so many words, you know what I'm saying? He was just like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, just look as stupid as you can do in this dance, right?
Yep. And
Now it's just like
I wholeheartely believe that them niggas was high when they made that song.
they probably were.
I wholeheartedly believe that.
It's like shit, it was digital underground. Like they probably were high as shit.
Definitely. But it's like the artists, like not even just hip hop, but like R&B and even like we really have no soul music.
No, we have no soul music. I actually brought that up talking to somebody the other day. And I was explaining, like, because somebody was like, matter of fact, my niece just said this earlier. She was like, she was all in the 70s and 80s soul and R&B. And I was like, well, shit, how can you not be? Like,
Right.
it's like, shit. Me being a hip hop head, but all at the same time is like you don't really hear me listening to a lot of rap shit.
No, you don't.
Rapper. But like I prefer to listen to like LTD and the OJs and shit like that because they was talking about something.
Yep. And even though a lot of the same things, like the metaphors, with everything that they were talking about, damn near is exactly the same now. It's just that back then, back before us and during our time, these niggas had decorum. Like it was a way to say I'm about to blow your back out. Besides just saying I'm about to blow your back out. Like there was definitely ways to say some shit that made it sound appealing. Now these niggas is talking about suck my dick this to the left and to the right, and we gonna do this like dog. Really? Really? Like
Listen,
we can't have no
there
surprise.
was there at one point in hip hop, which was like a little bit after the golden era of hip hop, but in between like the golden era and like the early 2000s, where lyricism actually made a difference. And then at some point everything went left.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know.
It was like,
Like,
okay, now you just say whatever the fuck it is, which is why you got all these little stupid motherfuckers getting locked up, snitching on themselves and shit.
listen, I was in the car. I was in the car coming home at like, I think this was last week. We was coming back from a funeral. But it was like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
We on the radio. This is like regular radio. And one of the songs came on. This motherfucker said something about his dick. And I said, wait a minute. He said dick on the radio. Like, hold on.
That was a fucking somebody slipped up. That's what that was.
No, it was repeated multiple times.
No, that's what I'm saying. Somebody slipped up because see, the way it works at a radio station, a lot of people don't know this. Is like, let's say the radio personality is on air, and then you have a person in the background that's setting up the playlist. So once the playlist gets set up, it's not like, okay, like, unless it's a request hour, the radio personality usually is not in control of what music is getting played for real.
Well, it was definitely dirty and uncut.
Whoever the hell put that shit in there, they probably fucked around and didn't like play the clean version or some shit.
Yeah, well, Dick was repeated multiple times, and I was told that they, at a certain time of night, they definitely get uncut. I'm like, radio get uncut?
Sure, they guess, yeah.
Because I know people that be out driving around, on their way home from work at between the hours of 1 and like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
You can listen. You just made me think about something that happened one time when I was like 14. This is before I came to Murray Wright. I was still going to Cass.
Okay.
And, like, one of my cousins came over, and we was like, you remember, like on Fridays they used to like have like they was going live from Legends.
Yeah.
That's how you know how long ago this was. They was going live from Legends on the radio, and we sitting there listening. We you know what I'm saying? We in there doing our little stupid dances and shit, and like out of nowhere, it was just like, okay, you hear the beat come on. We like, all right, bet. It was like, and then it was like, can I get a fuck you to these bitches from?
Oh shit!
Look, we all stopped. Look, we all stopped. Like, wait, they playing the real version on the radio.
That's how I felt. I was like, hold on, I'm not accustomed to this kind of vulgar language on the radio.
Right, not on the radio. I mean, should I listen to it on a regular basis? But the radio, no.
Right, but not on the radio. I mean, shit. I expect to get on the radio and hear Kids Bop, like
first
versions of shit. Not
first of all, I was gonna front like I could jit.
Right, and you threw me off with this whole shit. I was like, oh.
And now I'm here. Can I get a fuck you? And I was like, oh, this is the real version. But look, at first I was shocked, but then I was like, "Damn, why we ain't recording this shit?"
Yeah,
because back in the day, all you had to do was take a piece of tape and put it on the on the tape.
And on that little hole on your cassette tape and record. Hell
yeah, shit. Or
that was the shit.
In that bit.
Yep, I done done both. I done threw some tape on it.
Did all that.
I done put some tissue in there. Shit.
I remember when I first got a CD player. When I first got a CD player, like all my tapes turned into me freestyling on everything. Like it wasn't even. It was all like if it was anybody's tape, it was like, okay, I'm rapping on it now.
Just fuck whoever, whatever artist that say on this tape. This is my shit now.
Right, like it's mine now. Fuck, dog. That ain't such and such. That's me doing such and such and such and such freestyle. That ain't. But I don't know if you remember back in the day. I could go off and freestyle for like a half hour to an hour about just off rip, but I can't do that shit no more. I ain't gonna lie.
You listen all the time, and Murray. I remember when you and Eddie got did a little freestyle thing, y'all little circle.
Man, listen.
I kind of miss those days though. Like I miss the days when the niggas that or females in general, niggas and females to be at the table making beats with their pencils and pens and banging on the table and shit.
Oh man,
all natural and authentic. Like, oh my God.
Whatever happened to my man Twiz, man? That nigga, he was cold.
I don't know.
I think he was an old one, but he was like the coldest one doing beats on the table.
I have no idea.
Like he was the coldest, like out of everybody that would like make beats on the table, he was the coldest one.
He was the coldest one we had at Murray.
And it was like, I was actually making beats. But like I was in the studio a lot, so that's where like people kind of flocked to me because I was always in the studio. And then it was like,
what was that girl name that tried to get on because you was in the studio?
Kistel ass, motherfucker.
Was it Kistel that was trying to get on?
And then when y'all told me, like, man, she trying to fuck with you because you popular and you be doing CDs and stuff. So I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because I think I found out about it and came and told you, like, nah, nigga.
That's what I remember. I remember which one of y'all came and told me that. But it was like, that's who that was. I know that for a fact.
I couldn't remember. I kept thinking about it like, who the fuck was trying to get on? Because he was doing that.
Like, I mean, shit, I think a lot of females was like back then was really just on me because of that type of shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because
no, a couple of them was on you because you used to look like Ludacris.
Yeah, I know that too.
Yeah, I had to shut hoes down a couple times. No, you're not talking to my brother. No,
Oh, mercenary.
no, absolutely not. You're not talking to my brother. I am not allowing that. No.
My
Mm-mm.
like the one that I love till this day was Octavia, right? That was my homie, like, cause
Man, I
for
think
the
she in New
longest,
York.
like, listen, she could not pronounce mercenary for nothing. So she would see me and she'd be like, "What up, Marshmallow? How you doing?"
That's why she called you Marshmallow?
Yeah, because she couldn't pronounce mercenary.
Lord have mercy. I did not know that. I did not know that was the reason. I just thought it
But I
was just some
loved it.
inside shit, and I just left it
It was
alone.
hilarious to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's
That
why I call
girl.
her Marshmallow.
Hell no.
And then it's funny because like
Nah, no.
I have a daughter named Mello, and Lynn calls her Marshmallow. So it's like this is like it's a hilarious turn of events in my life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't complaining. It's funny to me, shit. But I don't know. Like, as far as like hip hop is concerned with me, and when movies come into play, I'm gonna tell you one that'll piss you off. Like,
What?
I'm gonna send you the link to it. But if you watch Body Rock, that was like the first culture vulture, motherfucker. It was a movie called Body Rock, right? And then, like, I remember watching it when I was little. But then when I
It
thought,
sounded like some shit that played, and I cut it off.
it's like when I watched it, once I got older, shit was terrible. The movie was shitty. Like, you know what I'm saying? The movie was shitty, but on top of that, it was like, okay, so this is apparently hip hop from like this Italian New Yorker standpoint.
I'm not watching that bullshit. That don't even
No,
sound. No,
you gotta watch
no.
it. You gotta watch it. Trust me. Because when you watch it, it's like, okay, it's like breaking if everybody was white and then it was like two black people in the movie instead.
Why do you try to get? Why do you convince me to watch bullshitty ass stuff like that?
Listen, you have to watch it.
I need to stop allowing you to get me into watching that shit.
Okay, wait. Let me give you like what the movie is. It's like, okay, so you got this dude. He's like a party promoter, I guess, or whatever, right? And he got
Mm-hmm.
all these like DJs and rappers, and can't none of them really rap.
Lord have
And
mercy.
at some point, he was like, "Yeah, I need you to teach me how to dance." So he gets this little black boy that be breakdancing and shit to teach him how to dance. And even once he teaches him how to dance, he's like, like if somebody was fuck around and be like the 10 man.
You know what?
So it's like, like I'm telling you, you gotta watch it so you can understand where my anger comes from with this movie.
Now I gotta watch this bullshit.
That's what I said. You gotta watch it so you can understand where my anger comes from, because
So
it's
now
like
I gotta watch this some horse shit.
it's like, and then at
All
one
right.
point, he's like this superstar party promoter at this club, and then his friends come in, and his friends try to show up to the club, and they can't get in, and it's your typical hip hop movie, but but white people.
Okay, I'll watch it.
Hear me, but
I'll
with
watch
white
it.
people. So it's
Mm-mm.
it's really not like, even when you look at how they dress and everything, the shit is fucking hilarious. Like,
What's the era? What years is this?
it's the 80s.
Oh Lord. Okay.
That's what I said. I remember being little as hell, and it came on like I don't know if you remember back in the day, like Channel 20, when they used to
Uh-huh.
show, like, movies and stuff here and there and all of that type of shit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for anybody that's listening and don't understand when I say Channel 20, I'm talking about in Detroit.
Yeah,
But
it's definitely Detroit. It's a Detroit thing.
like they would show movies, I think, on Saturdays after all the cartoons and stuff went off.
Yeah,
And
because you had your Saturday morning cartoons, and then you had your afternoon shows that came on for like 4 hours, and
right,
then you had whatever
like,
movies lined up they
you had
had.
2 movies that would come on.
Yeah.
So you would have like about um, what kind of broke down to like 4 hours worth of movies coming on TV on Saturday.
Yep, because
Cause
they was
all
like
and
an
shit.
hour and a half, damn near 2 hours long with commercials.
hmm
Yep,
So,
I remember that.
so the first time I saw Body Rock, I just remember sitting there looking at the TV, and I remember seeing like saying people like breakdancing, like pop, well, locking or whatever with like these skeleton suits and shit on. So like to me, I thought that shit was cold back in there because it was like they was in like some glow in the dark type shit. Like you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, like I remembered the movie, but I never could find it. And then it was like towards the end of last year, I ended up coming across this movie because I looked it up on YouTube and found it.
Send me the goddamn link, dog.
I'm gonna send you the link. You trust me. I'm gonna
Lord
send
have
you.
mercy.
So I ended up finding it on YouTube, and when I watched it, I got irritated with it so fast. Like I got that bad
Mm-mm.
now. Like I get irritated with all kind of shit, music, movies, like especially hip hop movies. Like you got movies that's classics like Crush, Groove,
Yeah.
Breaking Two, Electric Boogaloo. You got Disorderlies. You got shit. Even though Belly was horrible, I mean shit. It was like shit, nigga. It's Nas and DMX. How the fuck can you be mad?
Right.
Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
On the
it's
movie,
like
it was
yeah,
like,
you have all these shit paid in full. 3 6 Mafia did choices and choices
they did.
two.
That's the name of their movie, Choices.
Um, let's
And
see.
it was like, and
Not to
then think
mention all
about
the
it,
not to mention all the movies Tupac was in. So you had let's see, Above the Realm,
a
Poetic
lot of shit.
Justice. But what
He had
came
a lot of movies.
from those movies was the soundtrack. That's what everybody loved from those movies. Like you know what I'm saying? Like, even if the movie
Yeah.
was trash, it was like shit. You watch it till this day because it's a fucking classic.
Yeah.
And then you watch it because of the music that was in it.
A lot of movies. A lot of movies that I did watch. I did like really enjoy the movie because of the music that was playing throughout the movie. It is a couple movies that's like that.
Like I don't even know if you hip to when Wu-Tang Clan redid the music for Scarface. They had a whole DVD release for that shit.
I heard about it, but I didn't see it.
So all of the music was different
Mm-mm.
from the original movie, but it was all Wu-Tang Clan.
I'm
And
about to listen. I'm about to find it.
I had the DVD, and then I don't know what happened to it, but that's how how shit goes on. Like you
Yeah,
have people
but it's
come
a
over
lot
and shit.
of yep. And sometimes it just grow legs and walk away. You don't know what happened to it.
It's
And leave
like
a
stuff
note.
sometimes. But yeah, so you had let's see, what's another it was another movie that I was thinking about that I watched. Oh, this is like a lot of like people's personal favorite, especially hip hop heads. The Last Dragon.
The Last Dragon was good.
You know what I'm saying? With Bruce Leroy. Even though a lot of it wasn't even hip hop, it was just like you had like his little brother in the movie was breakdancing and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But
I ain't seen that movie in years. Oh my god.
I'll be watching all that shit. That's why I said like I don't fit in with none of my friends.
Yeah, because you are one of you don't like anime.
It's
You
like
do not watch
it's not
anime.
that I don't like anime. I just don't really like, fuck with it because it's like if you miss an episode, you lost.
I mean, and sometimes it depends on the show. Cause some shows, you know what I'm saying, like you can miss an episode and you can watch the next one and catch up and be like, okay, I see what happened. But it's some that you miss episode and it feel like you miss way more than just one. So when you go back and watch it, you gotta watch them back to back. It is shows like that, but anime, I like the storylines behind anime. I like the messages that anime has. You know what I'm saying? Because it's always some kind of positive something, no matter what the hell happened. Like my personal favorite, I like Naruto. I love Naruto.
Well, see, listen,
That's
this
one
is
of my favorite animes.
what happened. Like, okay, let's say when I was in Albuquerque, right?
Uh-huh.
Um, a rapper named Kid Six, like we was staying together, and he was showing me Dragon Ball. No, it might have been Dragon Ball Z, and he
First
had
off,
like a box set of like all of the episodes.
okay.
And I sat there and watched that with him, and I was like, damn, this shit kind of sweet. But then, like, once I left Albuquerque, I wasn't paying the shit no attention no more.
No,
Then,
I don't know. I never got into Dragon Ball Z. I never got into Dragon Ball. That's one anime I never got into. My introduction to anime was Inuyasha.
oh, I thought you was gonna say Sailor Moon.
Oh, yeah, right. Sailor Moon was actually my first
Like, I think that
introduction to
was
anime.
my introduction to it, but I hated that fucking show. So it was like, yeah, whatever. Like
I love Sailor Moon, and I got older and I started watching Inuyasha, and
Sailor
I think
Moon,
I
like
started
I couldn't get past the theme song because the theme song would irritate me.
what for Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
I knew that's what it was, but I knew guys that
Sailor
watched it
Mars,
because they wanted to be
Sailor Jupiter, Sailor Venus.
shut up. They had to announce who they were.
I hated that fucking theme song,
They
but
had to
like,
make sure you knew
I
who
might
they
have hated
were.
it. I might have hated it so much because I was waking up for school and shit.
Maybe.
And that's like some of the first shit I heard every day around that time, right? But uh the first one that I really paid attention to, I was living in Alabama, and at the time I was cool with this dude named Chris, and he had me watching Bleach.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, yeah, this shit cold. This cold. Like I was like, stop recording and shit to go ahead and watch Bleach with this motherfucker. Like, you know what
Damn.
I'm saying? Like I would stop making beats and everything. He'd be like, let's watch Bleach. All right, fuck it, let's go.
Wow.
And that was like and it's like then when you come across like, you know what I'm saying, real anime like heads and shit, they be like, man, Bleach is garbage.
Yeah, I've heard some people just told me that. I'm like, well, fuck you.
So I'm just like, well, shit, what the fuck am I supposed to pay attention to then? Shit, like, okay, Naruto is cool.
I can't get with Boruto. I just can't.
And then you got like our one of our personal favorite artists, Xavier Monroe, actually like goes to like Naruto card tournaments and shit. Like I just was never into it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the Pokemon.
Really? I didn't even know that they had Naruto card tournament.
Yeah. That's what I was like. I never knew about a lot of this shit. So for me, it was like, damn, okay, well, this is different. Like, you know.
Like I used to want to go to their version of Comic Con, but it's like I'm that nerdy at home and the privacy of like my comfort zone. I'm not that nerdy out in public to go out here and just buy like this whole outfit and do this and like do that the whole time. I don't know, like I'll do it, but like it gotta be. It wouldn't be for that. It'll definitely be for some freaky shit at home. That's about it. Like I will put it on and I'll be like, damn, I want to get nasty now. So there's no point in me. There's no point in me doing it. So I just
like me. It's like, okay, like I'm about to tell you my first experience like with the Humicon shit here. So at this point in time, I was working at Speedway down there on Jefferson.
Okay.
So I jump off the bus and I start walking around and I'm seeing like all of these weird people with these fucking blue and red and orange wigs and shit on, and they carry
weird people.
like dressed up like Mario and all kind of stupid shit, right? So I was so I'm looking around like, what the fuck is going on down here?
I'm not about to play with you.
And somebody was like, man, we listen, they got Humacon going on over there at the Renaissance Center. And I was like, what the fuck is Humacon? Like, that's always like when there's something going on and I don't know what's happening, that's usually my response. Like, what the fuck is this, right?
Right.
So I mean, I'm looking at people walking around with swords and all kind of shit. So I'm just like lost as fuck. These motherfuckers, they like, Ash from Pokemon and all kind of shit. So
yeah, it's usually a lot of them.
Look, so I'm confused, right? I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So that's when I got hip to Humacon. I think that was like 2000. It was either 2013 or 2014 or some shit.
Damn, that was recent.
Yeah, and I was like downtown, like lost as fuck because first of all, no disrespect to white people, but we don't see y'all motherfuckers downtown in Detroit that fucking heavy.
That's true.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
and then they all dressed up in costume and shit. You really don't see that shit going on.
Right. So it's like now they in costume and shit, and it's like, okay, well, shit, is this so real? Like,
because even during Halloween, it ain't that many of them down there dressed up in costume.
I mean, it's like, okay, white people are starting to move back into the city, of course. Everybody want to scream gentrification and such. But none of us bought the houses.
Right.
So what the fuck did you expect? Shit. If I could
nobody bought the land.
If I could buy a big dumbass house for $1,000, I'm moving back in the city too. God damn it! What the fuck?
Exactly. Even if I gotta do work to it.
Mad. Like when everybody talking that gentrification shit, like, okay, you allowed it. This ain't 1956, motherfucker. Like, you allowed it.
A lot of, if I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of people never look at the reality of sometimes you're the reason why something happens.
Well, of course. I mean, like, personally, like, I'm all for Black Power. Don't get me wrong, right?
Right.
But I'm not one of those stupid motherfuckers that's just like, okay, it's black or nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which tends to, it's like, and this kind of falls into hip hop nowadays too. It's like, okay, when you deal with that woke community, it's like, what did you wake up to? Because somewhere you got lost again. Like, I get confused.
You know what? It's one of them things where like it's more or less where they're getting their information from and what they're interpreting from their information.
Right.
And I say that because I'm not, let me see. I want to say I'm kind of, but not really. Like I'm squinting, I don't know. But like I say that because it's things that I'm learning about my culture. It's things that I'm learning about my history. You know what I'm saying? That was either not taught to me or that I never paid attention to because for me, it wasn't important, I guess. Not really, I can't say important, but it wasn't a forefront for me. Right. I'm looking at things that I was taught growing up. As far as number one, biggest thing for me is religion. I'm not religious. I'm not religious at all by any means.
You used to be.
I used to be.
And you got on my nerves with that shit. Like when
it was Jesus this and we going to church, that's the Bible this. I could never quote the Bible,
but you got to pay attention to shit. This and that, blah, blah.
But like I still I believe in God. I believe in the universe. I believe in a higher power.
I mean, I believe in God and I believe in a higher power, but religion is stupid.
It is.
As far as
And
I'm concerned,
like I literally,
I'm not trying to take that from anybody that is religious, but at the same time, no, religion to me is stupid.
for me, religion for it's like it's one of them things like
It's a control mechanism.
yeah, it's definitely a control mechanism. It wasn't based off of what I've read and understood and everything based off of, growing up and from then to now, rereading some of the stuff. It really wasn't meant for black people.
I mean, it wasn't meant for anybody. If you really read it and you
It
pay
really
attention,
wasn't. And it's
if
like,
you read it and you pay attention to what you're reading, you get those old, like those older black, like Baptist grandmas and shit, and they tell you like you need to get in your Bible, and then you get in your Bible and you realize a lot of this shit don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? My bad, but
it
it's
contradicts
like,
each other. It contradicts itself. Like,
right.
I I've always had questions. I've always been inquisitive. I've always been curious. I've always been a seeker of knowledge. So if I'm
But
reading
hold on,
something,
when you ask those questions, how many answers you ever got?
how many actual answers?
Right, like how many answers did you
None.
get? Exactly.
None.
So
Not a
that's what I'm
one.
saying.
I
Because
have been
nobody
told,
can
but I
answer these
have been
questions.
told that these are by pastors and priests or whatever, whatever branch of Christianity I dabbled in, I would talk to whoever was over the congregation. So
But
whether it's the preacher, the deacon,
I'm
whatever,
about
I
to
would
give
talk to
you.
them.
Hold on, I'm about to give you the perfect scripture that I asked the question about, and I got so many different answers from this shit. I think it's Genesis 6:1.
I don't think I know where you're going with it. Wait a minute. Let me
Where it
find
was,
my.
let us create them.
Yes! Yes! Oh my God. Okay.
And then
Okay.
you get further into Genesis and it says that like it's like us disappeared, and it was just like, okay, it was just God by itself. So it's like, okay, so the shit that you taught me was
Okay. Here we go. 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 All right. So let me see. Where shoot.
because at
Hold
one
on.
point it's us, and then at another point there's no us, it's just God.
Yeah. And I would ask that question. I have brought that to each one of them. And okay, Earth, Garden. Okay, it's Adam and Eve. Okay, God set the land. Okay, here we go. It's Genesis 1.
1:6.
It basically starts at um. It basically starts at 24 because it talks about the land the land producing living creatures according to their kind.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes into that. So then you have in 27, 26, it says, then God said, let us make man in our image, in our likeness, and let them rule over the fish of the sea and the birds of the air, over the livestock, over all the earth, and over all the creatures that move along the ground. 27 goes on to say, so God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them.
So you have an immediate fucking contradiction.
Immediately. Like it doesn't go from there to some other shit to that. It goes straight from there to there. Like, well, what happened? Like, did you? And so my question to that was this: one of my very first person I asked, I said, okay, so I'm reading this, and I said, so who is he talking to? Here's my theory. Is
Right.
he talking to the devil? Because we have the choice to do both good and bad.
Well, yeah.
Is he
You gotta,
talking
you
to?
gotta gonna do both either way because the way I listen is
Hold on, listen, wait. These are my other two. Is he talking to the angels because they're androgynous? They don't have a particular gender. So if you don't have a particular one, we can make both. Hmm. Okay. Another theory is he talking to other gods? Because what I've noticed is um in Greeks and Romans, you have multiple gods. Each god is in a different area. You have
You have a
Hades,
God for you have a God for the living. You have a God for the dead. You have a God for
the ocean, the
right. You
lightning, the
have God for
sky, the
everything.
rain. You have a god for everything. So
Okay, so if you pay attention to a lot of this shit, you know what it turns into? Sun worship. So
listen, so this is my thing. So my question for that was that. So who was he talking to? Then they said, well, why don't you go back and read more, read into that. You have to read everything. I said, okay. So he said he's making land creatures of their kind. He's making creatures of the sea of their kind. He's making this of their kind. So how did he make humans if we didn't exist? Who is he getting this mold from? If he said he's going to make us in his image and then it's our image and now it's all of a sudden just him, what happened? Where's the rest of the people he was talking to? Because I know he wasn't there talking to himself, because it still would have been, let's make them in my image,
okay.
not in
So
our image.
let me ask you. Let me ask you a couple questions. I'm gonna see if you get these numbers right. Right.
Hmm.
So, how many disciples did Jesus have?
According to the Bible, he had 12 that they talk about.
Okay. How many signs are there in the zodiac?
12. Actually, it's 13.
How many? Hold on, wait. How many brothers
Oh,
did Joseph have?
12, I think.
Uh huh. Are you seeing something here? Let's see. How
You
many
got the
major
calendar
glands?
that we do.
Hold on. How many major glands are in a human body?
Okay, I don't know. I
12.
skipped biology. Okay.
12.
Okay. I
So,
skipped biology, goddamn it. And I didn't go to health either. I failed health twice because
okay.
I skipped it twice.
You should have guessed the number off rip, like off of
I
everything.
know, but I just wanted to make sure I was gonna be right. But
Okay,
this
there
is
are
something
12
that I
major
don't know
glands in
of.
the body. There are 12 zodiac signs, which are the constellations that flow around motherfucking Earth all the
Uh
time.
huh. Yeah.
So how does nobody understand that this shit is fucking sun worship?
And then this is what really fucks me up. Okay. How is it that, and if you look at religion as a whole, that means every type of religion, not just Christianity. We're looking at Buddhism. We're looking at
See,
Hinduism.
you
We're
done
looking
jumped off
at,
hip hop and started talking about some other shit, but I'm good with it. Let's go.
so you have all of these different religions, right?
Uh-huh.
And all these different religions have their own particular God, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they all got
No,
the
no,
same
no,
devil.
no, no. Because if you're dealing with, it's like you gotta look at the type of religion it is. Like, so you have monotheism, which is like the belief in one God, and then you have polytheism, which will be like the Indians, like in the eastern hemisphere of the world with, like,
With Sheba and Buddha.
right,
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying, like, you gotta, there's
I know.
different
I'm saying, but
religions.
I know that you definitely do have different takes because of the different cultures or whatever.
Right. So
But
if I'm not mistaken, I think Allah means one God,
I think I don't
or
know.
one true God, or something like that.
I think so. I don't know. I don't
So
know for
it's
sure. I
like
don't remember. I've asked before, but I don't really remember.
but like when you look at the Quran and you look at the Bible, there are so many parallels that it doesn't.
Somebody once told me that the Quran is, I believe, the Old Testament.
No, that's the Torah.
Okay, the Torah is the Old
The
Testament.
Torah is the Old Testament. That's what, like, the Jews in modern times actually
Yeah, I knew it was one of the. I know it was either the Torah or the Quran. One of them I knew was I was told that it was the Old Testament.
But
But
hold on. Wait. I'm about to hit you with some shit. Okay, so all right. If you remember reading the Bible, when Moses came from Mount Sinai, they were worshiping the golden calf, right?
right,
So a calf would be equated to like growing up to be a bull, correct?
right,
Taurus. Then at one point, like somebody was blowing a ram's horn to alert people. A ram's horn, Aries.
yeah.
And then Jesus is represented by what? Think about it. Fish.
Yeah, Pisces, and then
Right.
you got Satan is the devil,
So
is the
if you
Capricorn.
pay attention to Revelations, it says the next age, which is really what they're saying, the next age will be ushered in by a man pouring a pitcher of water, which would be Aquarius,
Right,
right?
right.
So no, it's not the end of the fucking world. It's the end of a fucking zodiacal age. That's what like nobody stops and thinks about none of this shit.
But it always threw me. It always fucked me up because the devil, Satan, is represented by the Capricorn.
Okay, but listen, this is
And it
I'm
always got me because people that like they would. I've had a pastor and his wife. I asked about um I asked about the Adam and Eve. I mean not Adam and Eve. I asked about the God making us
yeah,
in
the
His
whole
image
Adam and Eve
thing.
story is kind of fucking wonky.
I asked about I asked about a couple other things throughout the Bible, stuff that I was reading because I read it. I didn't read it all, but I was reading, the Bible like religiously, and it was something I had asked her, and it was a couple other things that I had asked, and she literally, the wife literally asked me when was my birthday, and I told her I said December 29th. She said, "Oh, you're a Capricorn." I said, "Yes, I am." I was like maybe I want to say 18, 19 years old. So this is where I was exiting religion. And she literally looked at me and said, "Oh, that's why you're asking these questions. The devil got a hold on you." I said, "What? What?
What
The
I've
devil got a
learned,
hold on you." I
I
said, "What
think
that
what I
mean?"
think what
She
pushed
said,
me away
"Because
from religion more than
her
anything.
exact I asked her, "What made you say that? Where did you get that from?" Because only Satan will possess you to ask these type of questions about what God said. I said, first off, God gave me the brain I have. God already know what's in my heart. He made me who I am. So he made me the way I am, which means that whenever I have a question, I'm going to ask that. And you're teaching this. You're supposed to be teaching us religion. You're teaching from the Bible. I'm asking you.
My bad. Hold on. I opened up my phone browser because I'm about to go to the store, but I'm still trying to have this conversation. So.
Okay.
But give me just a second. Okay, I had to mute my computer.
But
But
she said
yeah,
that there was
I
like
mean I feel where you at.
how
Like my whole thing is like okay. Once again, I've asked this question over and over again on um Facebook and everywhere else. Like okay, so since everybody religious now, it's like okay, when the fuck do we actually pick up on religion?
right.
Right? Because I'm pretty sure that most of the motherfuckers that was here already, which will make all the sense in the fucking world, that nobody pays attention to, where Where did you get this religion from?
Right. And
It's like,
see, and what I've been gathering is that um when I want to say right before slavery, I'm gonna just say, yeah, we're gonna say that before all that started. We worship life itself, nature, the sun, the stars, the moon, the water, the trees, the
I
grass. We
mean, don't get
worship
me
all of
wrong.
that.
I believe that there were like Christians like around that point in time, but
I don't, and I say this only because of the fact that Christian literally just means, or Christianity just means follower of Christ. You can't have a Christian before Christ existed.
oh, I feel some type of way about that too.
You know what I'm saying? So like, um, you can't. There's no the timeline don't add up. 1 plus 1 is not two in that equation. Like you cannot be a Christian
Right.
if Christianity didn't become a religion until after Christ was born and died. You can't have that if you had life before he existed.
Well, technically, Christianity didn't become a religion until about 150 AD,
Right,
when Christ was good and fucking dead, supposedly.
right. And you know what I don't understand? How is it that we supposed like the scientists have supposedly found monoconjugal Eve, right? But
In South
ain't
Africa.
nobody found Jesus' bones nowhere, but you done found Eve's bones.
Oh no, wait, no, they don't found Moses, they don't found Aaron, they don't found
They
all
done
these
found
people.
they nigga. They done found the ark, but you
See,
ain't
listen,
found Jesus.
you're not supposed to find Jesus because Jesus floated up to fucking heaven on a cloud.
Oh, so his bones went with him?
Apparently.
Because the last time I checked, the only thing to leave this earth when you die is your spirit.
Listen, like I say on a regular basis, when people get mad at me, it's like, okay, so when Jesus decided, okay, yeah, I've been dead. I done went to hell for 3 days. I done came back, right?
Right.
I done died. Hold on. I died to save you from your sins, but you're still born a fucking sinner.
No, no,
How?
no. It literally
How?
says in the Bible that no man can die for your sins. So that means that you're telling me that Jesus died for my sins, but I'm still responsible for my own shit. If Jesus really did die for my sins and nobody else's sins count, that means either heaven is completely empty or hell is completely motherfucking empty.
No, I'm sorry. I feel like okay. This is like
And
this
that
might
makes no sense to me.
fuck people up, but it's like okay, so when when God casted these angels out of heaven, right?
Right?
Where did they go? Because I'm pretty sure they didn't just fall to the ground and fall into the middle of the fucking earth some fucking where, right?
Right.
So somehow, and you got to think about this. If the story was actually true, it might be. We don't know. Shit, we wasn't there, right? But
Mm-hmm.
somehow this serpent pops up in the Garden of Eden.
Right.
So this is like one of the questions that I ask people. I say, okay, so what if we already live in hell and we just trying to make it to heaven?
Right.
I know it probably sounds kind of crazy, but I mean,
No,
shit.
it doesn't. I've always asked. I've always been 50-50 on my belief in heaven and hell, and I'm explaining to you this why. Um, if everybody sit up there and say, "Well, I'm gonna see this person in heaven," or make a joke and say, "Well, I'll see you in hell," type shit, right?
Right.
But if everything is based on your individuality, the choices that you make. Everything is based on you and you alone. Are you go to hell and you're in your own personal hell, right?
Right.
But you go to heaven. Are you really in a group of motherfuckers or are you in your own personal heaven? And you can't have, can you really have other people in your heaven when their choices is based on them? You feel me? Like,
Right.
how is this working? Are we all just sitting up there in heaven mingling together, but in hell you're separated and you got to deal with whatever it is? Or are you, is it open floor plan for both? And
Right.
then it always brought me back down to, well, it's so much shit that happened here on Earth as is. Earth itself is basically to me
I
heaven
mean,
or
shit.
hell.
You got to think about it. Even the people that seem like they the most gathered people. I'll put it that way. They're the most gathered as far as like mental status, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go through fucking turmoil
Yep.
a lot. Like you know, so
Yeah.
what's to say that we ain't already in hell? Like shit, what am I scared of? Nigga, I live in Detroit.
Yeah. And
Like,
I know for people who don't live in Detroit who might be listening to this and they might think it's arrogant, but if you lived here, if you're from here, you would understand. Like we can go anywhere in the US as far as I know. And when people ask you where you're from, you get two different types of looks. You get one like, oh my God, do you know such and such and such and such? Or you would get, oh my God, is it really as bad as it say it is on the news? Is it really like
right,
this? And
that's
it's
what I get
like,
every time I leave. It's
yeah,
like, man,
I
I
get
heard
both
it's
of
crazy
those.
there. I
They'll
heard
be
it's
like, I
crazy in
heard this
Detroit.
happened up there. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, that happened.
And then I
Do
turn
you
around and
know
speak
anybody
to
that
them
did
like,
this?
well, shit, I
Yeah.
heard it's crazy here too. Like,
I mean, but it's
y'all
like
just ain't y'all just ain't as crazy as us. Like, what the
as
fuck?
crazy,
Like,
or and then it might not be as reported. I don't know. I don't understand how people think that, oh, it's so much crime that happens in Detroit. Yes, it is. And so much crime that happens here does not get reported. So when you look at
man,
our stats and they say, oh, Detroit is like number 2 in murder capital or whatever,
listen,
that's just
I'll
the
put it
stuff
to you
that's
this way.
reported. So like it's
Ever since ever since Hurricane Katrina, you got New Orleans, Detroit, Chicago, and
Flint is
like
on the map.
St.
Flint
Louis
is
and
up there
East St.
too.
Louis. Like those areas are all like hotbeds for like crazy shit.
Yep. And then do you remember? I think it happened like 2 years ago. Flint was on like the
Oh,
highest crime.
Flint been on and off of the top ranked
And you
cities
know
of
what's really fucked up? This is the
wild
really fucked
shit
up
for
part
years.
about it. I'm originally from Flint. I was born in Flint. That's where
Oh
I'm
baby.
from. I'm a Flintstone, okay? But I
Look,
was raised in Detroit, so I literally come from two of the worst places
in the
that
country.
in the
I
country. Like they have been top five
feel you.
as
Yeah.
long as I've been alive, and I'm 35. So for 35 years, they have been in the top five.
Listen, I was on I was like fucking with Inferno on his live stream not that long ago, right?
Hmm.
And I said I was from 6 Mile. I ain't worried about shit. And this girl was like, "Oh, so you don't go all the way to 8 Mile?" I was like, 8 Mile. I was like, "Shit, nigga, ain't that no 8 Mile?"
Right.
That's how I listen. That's how I knew she wasn't from Detroit. But she saw 6 Mile and immediately, like, jump straight to 8 Mile because that's what everybody thinks about. So
I
I'm
don't
explaining to
listen.
her, like, man, like, listen, like, most of the black people here don't even like crossing 8 Mile. Like,
Yep. You could
we
ask
don't do
anybody
that,
around the
man.
city. You be like, hey, I gotta go. Can you take me over here? Or you want to ride with me over here? Where you going? On the
Right?
other
It's like
side of
we
8 Mile.
cross
Oh, I
eight
don't
mile if
cross eight
we have
mile.
to, but if we don't have to cross eight
We
mile, we
ain't
ain't
crossing
going.
8 Mile. That's absolute avoid area.
And she was like, "Wow," I was like, "Well, shit, for a black motherfucker to cross 8 Mile, that's damn near just like begging to get pulled over for driving while black."
Yes. You can abide by every goddamn traffic law. Your sound could be like at a fucking whisper, and you will still get pulled over.
Right, like you cross 8 Mile, you might as well just
And
fuck around.
then they give you some bullshitty ass ticket like, oh, your headlight was out, or you made a left turn without a signal or some shit. This some bullshit that,
You
like,
better be on the freeway or something.
man, man. Only way back in the day that I would cross 8 Mile is if
Oh,
I
for
was
real?
on the freeway.
I thought I saw your little midget ass pull up.
That's literally the only way that I would cross 8 Mile back in the day when I first started driving for real. I would only cross 8 Mile on the freeway. I would only go that way on the freeway. Taking the side streets and taking them streets, dude, no. You're going to get pulled over almost every fucking time.
When my mama moved out to Oak Park, right? Man, my mama was staying over there on like about 9 Mile of Wyoming. Well, it's not Wyoming on 9 Mile, but
It's a.
it's like, man, she fucked around. She moved over there. And I pulled up one night and I had my music playing, but it was a skunk outside, so I wasn't getting out the car. Her neighbor fucked around and called the police. When I say about 5 cars pulled up
Yeah.
for a noise complaint, 5 cars pulled up.
That shit's horrible. Oh, he told me to
Like,
take
well,
out this
shit, be
goddamn
safe,
corned
shit.
beef. Lord have mercy.
Somebody fuck around and get murked around this bitch. Ain't nobody pulling up. Not for real.
Hell no. And if they do pull up, they ain't gonna pull up for like 4 or 5 hours. By the time they pull up, the body done bled all the way out.
They don't give a fuck around this shit.
One thing I can say though, living out here in HP, I done called the police a couple times. And them motherfuckers showing up pulled up.
Man, my shit, man, we out there right now. No cap.
With the quickness.
Some Greek shit right now. We on a new way right now.
Oh, was this bacon? No.
You said what?
I thought I had bacon. I got a rack of lamb. I didn't know he bought a rack of lamb.
People, I ain't got no money. I'm broke.
Am I making both corned beef? Let me take them both out.
What up, though? Shit, I ain't gonna have no bread till tomorrow. I just came and spent this little buck. And they got some shit going on in the store too. Nah, there's some shit going on in there right now. I'm trying to get the fuck from up here. See, there we go. The same shit we was just talking about. And shit, no, let me get my ass from up here. Let me get my ass back to the house.
Exactly.
I'm gonna get behind these bricks.
I ain't got no damn ranch.
Okay. I'm gonna get my ass behind these bricks.
I'm not about to play with you on them fucking bricks. I'm not about to play with you on them bricks. I'm mad I ain't got no ranch. I want a fucking salad at 1:33 in the morning.
This motherfucker said, I want a salad.
I'm pregnant. Shit, I want what I want.
Hey, get what you gonna get. Shit, I ain't mad at you.
Ain't no fucking ranch. I can't get what I want.
They got ranch at the Coney.
I'm not going to Coney to get no fucking ranch. And I'm not going to have my boyfriend stop by the fucking store to give me no goddamn ranch. At no 2 o'clock in the morning when he get off at 2.
If you would have been anything like either one of my kids' mama shit, you would have been like, I want some cheese eggs. Then I would have been like, all right, goddamn, let me go get these damn cheese.
Nah.
See, one of them wanted cheese eggs. Listen, one of them wanted cheese eggs all the time. So, like, it didn't matter if I didn't have shit. I had to go figure out how the fuck I was going to get these cheese eggs. Well, I wasn't going to hear the end of it, right?
Uh-huh.
The other one wanted to send me out to get, like, these little tiny ass. At this point in time, this is like, you know, when they first, like, made the the bags of chips like 50 cents. It was Doritos
Oh, the
and
real one.
yeah, it was like Doritos and I forgot what juice it was all the fucking time. So it was like, God damn it, like I gotta,
You
gotta
gotta
go
go get it.
right, like I gotta go get this shit because if I don't, I ain't gonna hear the end of this shit. Like I
Yep.
just want you to shut the
And you
fuck
might
up.
get murdered in your sleep. Yep.
Right, that's what I said. Like I just want y'all to shut. I just wanted them to shut the fuck up.
See, my cravings are, I have cravings sometimes where I want corned beef.
All right, so this is what you need to do. You take a pair of headphones, right?
Shut the fuck up.
You hold the motherfuckers up against your belly, and you play like "Dear Mama" by Tupac, right?
I'm about to play with you.
And I guarantee you that baby will sit the fuck down.
Oh no, she good. She's not busy like Ami was. She is not as busy as
I
Ami
bet she
was.
listen. Now she won't be hungry as hell because she probably moving the fuck around all over the goddamn place. And then you be hungry as hell because she hungry as hell.
No, she's actually she really when I say she really don't move a lot for real, she really don't. She move around when she feel like it, like when she get uncomfortable, like when she want to get comfortable. But other than that, she's not as busy.
Oh
She
man, look, that's another thing.
she had way more downtime than Ami did.
Another thing I had a conversation about recently. Like, okay, so
Baby spinach.
I
My
was
bad, I'm sorry.
watching a video and they said like it was this pastor talking about, well, you're born a sinner because of Adam and Eve eating the forbidden fruit. I'm like, how the
Uh
fuck that got anything to do with me?
Right. I didn't eat the goddamn forbidden fruit, but they say that the reason
I wasn't
why
there, nigga. Like shit. I probably would have been like, nah, you heard what the fuck God said.
that probably would have been like, hold on, wait.
Like shit,
Didn't
she
that
come
nigga just
walking
say
up,
no?
look.
We can't have this.
Shit, Eve come walk. If I was Adam and Eve came walking up to me with some shit that I know I ain't supposed to be eating, like, okay, wait, where you
I'm
get
gonna
this
knock
shit
all
from?
this shit over,
You hear me? Like, where you get this shit from?
bitch. I'm knocking all this shit over.
Right, like, man, get this shit out of my face, man. What the fuck wrong with you?
You got me fucked up. And then they gonna say that's why we have cramps or some shit, or
It's right,
we
like
have
y'all got, like, so my
painful
thing was,
labor or
look,
some shit. I'm like, what?
I was laughing about it. I was like, so basically, Eve decided she was gonna fuck around and eat. Like I'm gonna just say the apple because everybody says an apple. Nobody actually knows what fruit it really was, right?
Right, because it definitely could have been called something else during that time.
Right. It was just the fruit off of the tree of knowledge of good and evil or life and death or whatever the fuck it was, right?
Yeah, it was the tree of I think of all knowing or some shit.
Right, some shit like that. Right, but so somehow Eve said fuck it, took a bite of that shit, and now dogs, cats, and everything else got periods.
Right,
They ain't had nothing to do with this shit.
right. So female dogs get periods, catfish get periods. Like just punish the whole female gender across
Everything
the
got
board.
everything female got a period because of Eve.
Yep,
That right there should be a fucking red flag.
like that makes sense, people.
Like that should really be a fucking red flag right there. Like, okay, so wait. So everything has a period. That's a female. Nah, nigga.
Like and nowadays the boys want periods too.
Man, they act like it.
No, this whole transgender movement shit.
Well, shit, that's how you should know that it's not really a boy.
Listen, listen,
I'm just saying.
listen, Linda. Okay, I am all for be who you are, be true to you. You know, but
I'm not. At this point, listen, this shit going.
no. Let me explain. Okay, just give me a second. So I'm all for that. Equal. Be who you are. Be who
Mm.
whatever makes you happy, right? But when you ignore like cold hard facts, it's like you miss the concept because number one, you have the acronym
Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on,
LGBTQ.
hold on.
I should have did this first. Okay.
All right, go ahead. I can hear you now.
So you have LGBTQ, right?
Okay, so what the fuck is the Q?
Queer. It was. I don't know what it is
Wait,
now.
wait. So everything before that wasn't queer as fuck anyway?
Listen, apparently not. You have lesbian, gay,
I know the rest
bisexual.
of it, man.
Right. But now,
And then it's
how
like
do you
it done got to
I
the point
get
where it's like LGBTQ plus. So what the fuck is the plus?
oh, you got asexual, pansexual, demisexual,
So basically, these motherfuckers gonna take over the whole fucking alphabet.
non-binary. It's a bunch of bullshit. Okay,
You
I
hear
don't
me?
even
So they're gonna
understand
take
half
over.
of
They're
it.
just gonna take over the whole fucking alphabet.
Basically. So like my thing is this. If you're gay, fuck it. Be
It's like
gay.
be gay, shit.
But when you say that you can't you can't go from a boy to a girl or a girl to a boy. Your DNA tells you what you are. Your DNA says you are a boy or a girl. The
Listen,
only ones that should be able to make that choice
this
or
question
get
gonna
a
push.
change
This question
is
is
the
gonna push
ones
some
that are
buttons.
born with both.
This question is gonna push some buttons, and I know it's gonna push some buttons. And I like.
I'm
I
not
feel
trying to
like,
offend anybody that are
I feel like it's a
whatever.
fair question because nobody had any issues as far as it went with straight people, which is like supposed to be like what I'm saying, society wise, like it's been gay motherfuckers forever. So it's like to me, it's like
Right.
it don't trip me out none. But like as far as like this gender identity shit, um, how do you feel as far as that's concerned? Like okay, like with the situation with Dwayne Wade's son that they're now calling his daughter at 12 years old. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I feel like
I'm like, that boy ain't even
um
felt pussy yet. He don't even know what he missing out on. And at some point in time, he might come across something like it.
right.
So now
And
you
it's the
you
thing.
calling this boy a girl and his name Zaya and all of this, and then next thing you know, his name gonna be Big Zay. Like
Right. And see my thing is this. Um how can you say and these are people a lot of times if you actually look at it, these are people that are religious.
mm-hmm.
Now, religion tells us God makes no mistakes, right?
Yeah, if you say so.
So if you are if you are saying that you're born in the wrong body, you're saying God made a mistake.
God fucked up.
He fucked up.
But then you want everybody that
So you
believes.
want to correct it. But see, this what
Well,
really
hold
fucks
on.
me up about it.
But then you want everybody to accept you that is a part of this
Their
same religion
religion.
that says that God makes no mistakes. I get where you at. Yeah.
Right.
Where you at.
And then on top of that, it's like the age limits that they're allowing for these things to happen is like you have not done anything in your life to say definitively that you are this or you're that.
Listen,
You can't tell me no way, shape, form, or
I think
fashion that a 5-year-old kid can come in and say mommy or daddy I'm not a boy, I'm a girl. I want to be called Stephanie. How the fuck do you know when you still got imaginary friends? You still put your shoes on the wrong goddamn feet. You still piss in the bed.
Sis, listen. I look at it this way, right? I think everybody goes through like one of those weird ass stages in life, but they might not act on it. But it's like, oh, okay, well, shit. Like, I mean, I'm gonna be totally honest with you, right? Like, I remember looking at this nigga Genuine, like this nigga pretty as shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I was a girl, like shit, I'd probably be running around trying to fuck this nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was thinking about, like, I looked at the nigga like that, like, damn, this nigga pretty as shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I didn't act on it. Like, you know,
it's like I said, if you like girls, you like girls. You like boys, you like boys. You like both. Hey, play the field. You got double the choices. The
whole thing is, don't sit up there and be like, okay, I was born this way. I don't personally believe that.
I don't personally believe that you are born gay because sexuality and attractiveness is stuff that is like basically, learned in a way. Right. You learn what you like.
Right.
You can't be born already knowing what the fuck you like. You can't.
Right.
Because that would mean that
you don't know what the fuck to like.
That means that you came out knowing shit.
But I think it's kind of strange that now you got all of these people running around talking about they was born gay that are like, after our generation, right?
Uh-huh.
When I remember being little as shit and like shit, I don't necessarily remember everything, but like it's stories about like, you know what I'm saying, like some girl will pick me up and hold me and I grab her boobs and all kinds of like I was like attracted to females when I was like a baby. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
So it's like between this point in time when I'm understanding like, that I like girls and then like let's say 10 or 15 or some shit. Where the fuck this shit go left where it's like, okay, well, I just think I was supposed to be a girl. No, you just like pretty looking shit.
Right.
It's like I think that's what it is. Like you like pretty looking shit, and then you got a bunch of fucking people that's out here like, well, oh no, you gotta accept it because this is your child. Man, my daddy would have beat my ass.
Listen, and I had somebody ask me like, "Are you raising gender fluid or gender whatever the fuck they call it children?" And I'm like, "No."
And
my daughters are going to be girls. My boys are going to be boys. What the fuck they do at 16 when they actually be able to discover what the fuck they like and experiment with shit? You can't tell me that God made a mistake.
You're actually the first person I've had this conversation with. This is hilarious. Like you, but
it's okay to say, well, mommy, I think I like girls in middle school because now your body's starting to give you them little feelings.
Right. And 9 out of 10, what you're running around doing at 13 or 14 is you're in a locker room or some shit because you're forced to be going to fucking gym class.
Uh-huh. And that means you're forced to be around the same
you're
gender.
Looking at a bunch of little girls naked. Like, you know what I'm saying? So at the point.
And then at that age, that's when you really start looking at yourself and saying, okay, I'm not comfortable with who I am, or I'm the shit.
Right, it's something.
That's at that point. That's where that shit come in at. That's where that range come in at.
Though, listen, at some point you hit like let's say 9th and 10th grade and shit, and let's say you a little girl and you looking at these dudes like damn, he kind of cute, right? So now you got this little girl that's sitting there confused as shit because when she was 12 or 13. Who was like, oh, okay, well, yeah, we support you. But then now you confused as fuck because now you look at that little boy. Well, yeah, it's like a little boy compared to us now. But it's like, okay, you looking at this fucking senior and this nigga on the football team or some shit, and you like, damn, I like that.
Right. and then like it takes it back to it takes it back to the parents. They're not explaining these things and making sure their children understand. Like, it's one thing to say, mommy, I like girls as a girl.
Right.
And then Well, what does that mean? Explain it to me. What do you mean you like girls? If you can't explain it to me and make that shit make sense, you know what the fuck you're talking about. And try again. Because when you, if you can explain, if I ask you, well, why do you feel like this, or what does this mean to you, and you cannot give me an answer, then you don't know what the fuck it mean yet. Go back, figure it out, and then you let me know once you figure out what it means. That's for me. That's how I feel like I'm gonna know that you understand. Like that you understand this is what's going. That you understand what comes with making these choices, because whatever choice you make,
right,
there's stuff that come with it, good and or bad. So if you're gonna make these choices, I need to make sure that as a parent that I've done my job to make sure that you understand to the best of my knowledge or to the best of you of what choices and what these things mean to you. If you can't explain any of that to me, then I failed as a parent because I didn't do my job as making sure you are knowledgeable, that you can be able to function out here in the real world. Because I'm not that sugarcoat parent. I'm not. That's not who I am. I've never been that sugarcoat person in general. So I'm definitely not gonna do it with my kid. And you can't come to me at 5 years old and say, "Mommy, I should have been a boy. I was born in the wrong body." You don't know what the fuck that means.
Right.
You see the boogeyman, boogeyman still under your bed or in your closet.
And then you fuck around. Like, listen, my whole thing is the motherfuckers that go along with it. It's like, okay, so I can understand, like, if your kid woke up one morning and this motherfucker just explains this whole extra life that they had in the past or some shit.
Right.
But to be just like, okay, no, I'm just gay. No, you're not just gay.
No. What happened to you? What happened?
Right, like talk to me, please. Just tell me something. Like, somebody asked me the question, they said, if your child came out to you that they were gay, would you respect it? And I was like, I mean, I'm still gonna love my child. But I mean, I might not respect the situation, but my child, I'm gonna respect my child regardless.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the idea of, like, the fact of the matter is like you're just like any other fucking animal.
Right.
You're supposed to reproduce, which means that you can't sit up there rubbing clitorises and shit and reproduce, or you can't fucking sword fight with another dude and create a baby.
Exactly. So. I think it's a lot of shit, I think. But
I mean, listen, let me explain this to you. You are on a platform right now where it's like pretty much anything goes. My whole thing is your opinion is your opinion, and I don't mind you going ahead and expressing how you feel. I really don't. Like, so
I know, but you've been like that with me anyway.
I've been like that my whole life. So
it's just like I said, if you're gay, be gay. That's it. You like girls. You are a girl who like girls. You don't have to go and have surgery to try to switch to a gender where your shit isn't actually working like it's supposed to. And then you got the boys talking about, oh, I like boys, so I'm about to go ahead and be a female. Let me go and try to do this. Now you got the possibility of doing womb transplants. A man's body was not built. If he was a man,
that man ain't gonna be able to handle that shit.
First off, y'all, males.
I'm saying that general, as a man. Listen, I'm saying this as a man that has witnessed childbirth. I couldn't handle it. Off rip, I can handle all kind of shit. I done took bullets, stab wounds, and all kind of other shit, but I could not handle childbirth. I'm sorry.
Not even the fact that y'all couldn't handle it.
No, I couldn't handle carrying a baby. What the fuck? No.
Your body isn't equipped to do the things that ours does.
Why would you create? Why would you put yourself in a position to try?
Right.
That's make that attempt. Like, to me, that shit is that's beyond fucking crazy. At some point in time, it's like, okay, like, you know, it's like when you hear about, like, back in like the 50s and 60s and shit, when they was putting motherfuckers in like straight camps and all that kind of weird shit, which I think a little bit over the top. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, try to straighten out like they gay kids and shit.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, so you put this kid in a straight camp, and then they separate the kids from each other anyway. So you still got this dorm and shit full of girls and a dorm full of boys.
Mm-hmm.
So what the fuck you think these little what the fuck you think they doing?
You just took them to a place where they can just fuck each other in the privacy of each other.
Basically.
They can have orgies and shit, and no one would know the difference because you got them all together.
It's like I don't believe in all boy schools and all girl schools. My kids, if I can help it, would never go to an all boy or an all girl school.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Because you do
become at some point in time, you do become a product of your environment.
Yeah, you do. So
no matter how hard you try, even if you do not become a complete product of your environment, you have your environmental traits that travels with you.
Prom and shit.
Huh?
I said, what do you do when it comes down to prom and shit?
Sometimes. Well, I'm not sure if they do it here in Detroit, but more upper class, I want to say. They usually have boy and girls, all boy or all girl schools like in the same district.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes down to like the prom season, they'll have like one. They either do it at the boys' school or the girls' school, or they'll do it like at a hall where you bring the boys and the girls together for prom.
So y'all just dance with whoever the fuck.
Whoever the fuck. Most of the time, y'all know each other because y'all in the same neighborhood or whatever.
This is why I asked this, right? I mean, let's put this train of thought together, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm a parent that puts my son in an all boys school,
mm-hmm.
or I take my daughter and put her in an all girls school. Obviously, when they're at home, I'm not letting them go out and just like mix and mingle with people.
Right.
Because for whatever reason, I'm so fucking distraught with the idea of they might like somebody of the opposite sex. And the first thing that's probably coming to my mind is they're going to get somebody pregnant.
Yep. Or they're going to come home pregnant.
Right. So, once again, when it comes down to prom, now you got a bunch of kids that's scared to fuck around and talk to each other, standing up against the fucking wall, drinking punch and shit.
Yep. unless they know each other from around the way.
Right. And even then, they probably walk up like, hey, yeah, I've seen you around the neighborhood.
Yep. Sometimes they're friends, sometimes they don't know nobody.
Right.
But they will put them together.
You have this socially awkward fucking child that goes to college and feels fucking rejected by the first person that says no when they say, yeah, can I take you to get some pizza?
Mm-hmm.
Or let's go
you get the girls that once they get to college, because now college is co-ed, oh my God, they become the biggest sluts. They experiment with all types of everything.
They're going to be sluts or they're going to be absolutely fucking unknown or something.
Yep. That's because what happens with girls.
I don't, like I said, I can't rock with that shit. My kids they gotta get to know people.
Like, and you know what? And unfortunately, the way society is going, my kids are going to be homeschooled for elementary and middle school. They're not going to school until high school.
Okay, you want to hear something funny?
What?
You definitely didn't know this. Okay, so my mama and them was like real heavy on me not having girlfriends and shit until I was 16.
Mm-hmm.
Which, quite honestly, is why when we were in high school, if you remember, like when y'all met me, I was in 10th grade. I was like, I was 15, about to turn 16. If you paid attention, I didn't kick it with nobody.
Yep.
because I was just like, you know what, man, like she can't call me. You know what I'm saying? Like I kicked it with somebody in 10th grade, but I didn't really like kick it with nobody for real. Cause shit, I wasn't supposed to.
Yeah.
Which to me was kind of fucked up because it's like, okay, you like 15, 16. My mama's idea was, well, at least when you turn 16, you can get a job and do such and such. I was like, shit, I could have got a job at 14.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but
Especially back when we was in school.
it's like you get somebody pregnant, such and such, such and such, you take care. Okay, I mean, shit, but I wasn't planning on getting nobody pregnant. Like you,
And see, with my mom, I wasn't necessarily a loud boyfriend.
I was 24 when Mello was born. So what is that telling you? I was obviously responsible enough not to run around and just be like, okay, fuck it, I'm gonna pop off an old girl.
That's true.
But that's what I think one of the problems is with parents is that we don't sit there and think about how responsible our kids might actually fucking be.
And see, when I say I've thought about that when I made the decision as far as the time frame I'm going to be homeschooling. The reason I say no to elementary, and I'm kind of maybe 75 on middle school, but a definitive yes, they will be going to high school. And I say that because the society we live in now, not saying that my children will be easily manipulated, they're going to be weak-minded. There's no possible way with the support system that I have, not to mention who their parents are. Neither me nor their father are weak-minded people. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's no way possible that for my uncles and their godparents, because their goddaddy is just as fucking nutty as all of y'all. So there's no way that my kids will be weak-minded or anything like that. But the society we live in, where everything they're trying to make accepted, no matter what it is. I have never had an issue with homosexuality. Never, not one time. I love the gay community. I think that they are awesome. They're totally awesome.
And that's what I'm saying. I personally don't mind it, but I don't want it to be forced on my kids.
Exactly. And they're trying to implement LGBTQ history. My problem with that is you're not even teaching my history to my kids. You can't possibly teach a history when you're not even. Yeah. Our history is not being taught. Our history is not being taught.
Our history gets taught with different motherfuckers' names and faces.
But then on top of that, then you got they're trying to actually rewrite our history. A friend of mine, her daughter, I don't know what book it was in. In the book, it said the Native Americans willingly gave their land to the Pilgrims. Okay, that's the storyline you want to go with. But we know that the Native Americans were scalped, murdered. So why did that happen after they broke bread with them? If they willingly gave their land and said, yes, you can come live with us, why would they murder if they were not a threat? That doesn't make sense. You're not going to explain that shit to my kids because my kids have a grandmother whose mother was born on a reservation, who was born into that life of being a Native American, who was full-blooded Native American. So that history was already passed down when I came along.
Right.
Not to mention the history that her father from his side of the family had. You can't tell my kids that shit. Because if they have any, right now, my oldest daughter, she has her daddy's attitude. Ami has her dad's attitude.
Right.
She has my mouth. Take that at a 1-year-old and multiply that shit by the time she gets to school. By the time she's 5 or 6 years old. You tell her that the Native Americans gave up their land and they was murdered anyway, she gonna call your ass a bum plum fool.
I mean,
that's not what happened.
Listen,
That is not what happened. That's not what my great grandmama taught me.
I've had a conversation on the Awkward Minaj podcast about how that works. It's like, okay, so when somebody conquers your land, what they do is they rewrite the history.
The only one who can tell what happened is the ones that made it.
Right, like the ones that won, they always fuck around and write the shit to make it seem like they did every fucking thing. Unfortunately, like, I guess what happened here with black people and Native Americans and all of that type of shit is like our oral histories got all fucked up. The stories and shit that we did know about, I can't even say the Native Americans because they were like real heavy with holding on to their oral histories, and so everybody knew what the fuck went on for real. Some black people was all kind of fucked up. So it's like you light skin, I don't like you. So I ain't telling you.
Then they pinned us against each other.
Yeah.
But then it's like, if you're not gonna at least make the shit make sense, don't do it. And because, like I said, my daughter at 1 year old, almost a year and a half, has her dad's attitude and my mouth already, there's no point in me putting her in school. Because if the shit don't make sense, she speaks on it. She speaks on bullshit now.
Right.
And I've watched my daughter make faces at people who done said bullshit to her.
I believe
and she's one.
Go ahead and speak their minds.
Exactly.
But
and imagine that with the society we live in now.
They gotta learn how to do it respectfully, of course. But like, shit, go ahead and say what the fuck you need to say. Shit.
And see, that was perfectly all fine and good when we were in school. The teachers.
Horrible.
What I'm saying is,
our teachers, we were some dickheads.
We were. But I'm saying, what I'm saying about the teachers and shit, the way it was, is that there was always some level of respect, regardless, between student and teacher. The student could call you a bitch all day long, cuss you out, fuck you, all this. That teacher will not put their hands on you unless the parents give them permission to put their hands on you.
Well, I mean, you got to think about it was a completely different climate.
It was, but nowadays you can say no.
You got to take into consideration that when we were growing up, we still had like those old school parents and shit where if they heard that you was acting up in school or whatever, you might be walking up the street coming from school and you might get your ass whooped all the way down the block.
Yep, by every one of your motherfucking neighbors.
You know what I'm saying? But now it's like you got all of these.
Oh my God! Don't spank your child. Like what?
No, don't hit your kids or.
Do you know how many kids? You know how many kids' lives were saved because their parents put their foot in their ass?
I'm one of them.
Not to mention, we had all types of recreational activities. We had all types of shit to do.
But I mean, shit, if I wouldn't have been getting my ass whooped here and there, shit, I probably would have been worse.
Or dead.
Right. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I would have been worse off.
Definitely been worse off. And, like, that's what fucked me up when they start saying no discipline your child. Like, wait a minute. That's because a lot of you motherfuckers don't know there's a difference between discipline and abuse. If you're piping mad, like pissed off, do not discipline your child. Wait until you calm down.
It's like at that point, just leave your kid alone for a minute.
Just wait till you calm down. Go, if you smoke cigarettes, go smoke you a cigarette. Drink coffee, get you a cup of coffee. Go for a drive for a little while. Calm yourself down. Gather your thoughts and shit. Then come back home and whoop their ass. And when you do it when you're pissed off to the highest level of whatever the fuck your levels are, that's when it turns into abuse, because now you're no longer disciplining them. You're abusing them because you're taking out all of your anger and frustration. And the thing about anger and frustration is that it's never pinpointed directly at the person who caused it. Your child could come in, break your vase. I'm sorry, y'all. A lot of y'all don't know what that is.
Right.
Um,
Extra fancy with it. Shit.
so shut up. So your kid come in, break your vase. You got an attitude. It's your favorite one, antique. Your grandma gave it to you, whatever the case may be. We're gonna make it like the most extravagant, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You're so mad. You start whooping their ass, but your boyfriend or your husband, your daughter, you know, somebody else pissed you off earlier that day, or earlier that week. You so caught up in a bit of rage and anger about your vase that everything else that done pissed you off then came flooding back. So now when you whooping your child,
you
now
got
you're
work on your head and everything.
right.
So
Now you're disciplining your child. I mean, now it went from you're disciplining them for breaking your vase to now it's I'm beating your ass because now I'm frustrated. You said what?
I said at that point the kid is a fucking punching bag, like
right. And I think that's why they implemented the the no hitting your child, no spanking your child rule. But I feel like I get it to a degree, only because of the fact that I have been a victim of that.
Kids,
so
but on some real shit, like my kids, they more scared of me having a conversation with their ass than they are me whooping their ass.
My daughter is more worried about me. Like she's 1, and she's 17 months. She's a year and 5 months.
You gotta pop in your hand every now and then, but that's about it.
Yeah. And so like what I've noticed with my daughter is that if I use my hand and if I pop her hand, it means nothing. I've thumped her hand. It means absolutely nothing. I took an aluminum foil, the roll of the aluminum foil once it was done.
But she's one. That's what you gotta remember that.
Listen. It doesn't phase her. I popped on her butt with a fingernail file on her diaper, full ass diaper. She screamed. I said, you couldn't even feel that. And see, for her, it's not necessarily me popping her. It doesn't bother her. She's gonna do what the fuck she wanna do anyway. Like I said, she has her dad's attitude.
Right.
And she has my mouth. So
my kids hate me.
I will yell at her, and then like she'll look at me like she don't like my threats don't mean nothing to her.
My kids just break the fuck down as soon as I yell at them. Like they.
And I think it's only because she's 1. You know, well my threats don't mean nothing. But like I used to threaten my nieces and nephews when I had them.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you what.
But I think it's because I breastfeed, and she's with me daily, all day. You know,
I'll tell you what it really is. One, it's like, okay, this is why I say that.
Am I a softie? Is she seeing the softiness inside of me?
Like kids, period, they need that father figure because we're a little bit more aggressive.
Oh yeah, when her daddy come in and he say something to her, she do what the fuck he say.
Probably sit the fuck down, don't she?
Oh yeah, she does.
Because you gotta understand, listen, that's a whole nother voice. That's like, you sit your ass down somewhere, and they be like, okay.
And see, I think, and then I also think it equates to the fact that I carried her. So I was the first voice she heard in life.
So, exactly. You was seeing what was going on was you was sitting there rubbing your belly and all kind of shit, and you know what I'm saying? Like what?
And even though, granted, she has heard me when she was in the womb, she's had heard me cuss people out.
Right.
But I don't know. I'll yell at her. I'll be like, "Come here," and she would look at me, and I'll be like, "Come here," and I would say, I would be so nice. "Come here, can you come here, please?"
As stern as you want to, and it don't fucking work, dude.
It don't. She looks at me sometimes and still do what she don't do.
What happened?
So I mean, hopefully it changes.
I'm telling you what it is. It's like, okay, when they little, especially with a voice like mine, I guess, because like my kids and everybody else's kids, I can tell anybody's kids to sit the fuck down somewhere, and they gonna sit the fuck down somewhere.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's like I guess the tone of a man's voice when we get fed up, it's like you better sit the fuck down.
Yeah, because I done added. I mean, I done yelled her name before, and like I added a little extra oomph to it, and then she do what I say.
Yeah.
But like me getting to that level, I absolutely do not like yelling. Not that I don't like yelling. And
I hardly ever even yell at my kids. My kids
listen, she don't listen. I'll tell her, I'll sit right here. We could be sitting right here, and I'll be like, Ami, come here.
I'll be hearing all this. Listen, I'll be hearing about all kind of shit that Aiden, that little ass, be doing, right? He don't do that around me, and then when he get out of line, I'll be like, lay your ass down. He lay down and go to sleep or whatever, and he good. Like,
listen, I tell her dad, well, like if she wake up in the middle of the night while he here, like while he's up after he get off work, I'll be like, if she wake up, go in there and put her back to sleep. And he asked me why the first time, and I said because she gonna sleep faster with you. If I go in there, she gonna want to talk to me. She gonna want to move around because she nursing still. I still nurse for napping bedtime, but she's gonna want to move around. She's gonna flip flop because she want to try to get this kind of angle, this position, this and that, while she's nursing. I said, but when she lay with you, she's gonna lay down and she's gonna go straight to sleep. And so that's what happens. And like I will send him, and because he works all the time, I will tell him, you got to go get in the bed with her. You sleeping there with her tonight. Because I have insomnia. I don't know why my insomnia came back with this pregnancy.
Like, yeah, you got to be in there with her then if you gonna keep her in there. So yeah, I heard you.
You know, but she don't roll off the bed. She don't roll out. She stays in her little spot. She know where the edge of the bed is at. She stops, all that.
Right.
But because I noticed that when he had time off or we would go on vacation and, do stuff like that, maybe go up north or whatever, and we would get a hotel and we would sleep in the bed with her. If we get a king size bed, then she in the bed with us. If we get the two queens, then she sleep in the bed by herself, and me and him might sleep in another bed or whatever. However we do it. But I noticed that when she wakes up to both of us or to her dad, she's happy. You can see how excited she is to see her dad when she wakes up too. So I started noticing like, okay, daddy works all the time. He works 10 hours, and then if he do decide to do 12, he works for 12 hours. So this is every day. And during the daytime, he sleeps. So when she wakes up, with the little time that she get with him in the morning, but when he wake up to get ready for work, it's only a short amount of time. And I feel like as long as her father is in the home, as long as we all live in the house together, this is our family. And she's old enough, she's big enough now to where she's not nursing throughout the night.
Right.
Which was a big issue for me.
I bet.
No. Not a bad issue.
I mean, I'm not more a bad issue.
It was one of the things like, if you're nursing throughout the night, then that means that you can't sleep in the bed by yourself at some point.
It can consume you, I'm sure. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It does.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing because, of course, like anybody knows that, anybody that pays attention to anything knows that when you nurse a child is actually like smarter.
Yep.
So it's like, no, it's like probably like, a little bit time consuming for you or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's time consuming for you.
And it poses an issue when your child doesn't take a bottle. Right. Like, I pump. I still have milk in the freezer, and she's 17 months. She's a year and 5 months.
I want the titty.
And like, when she would go to her granny house, she would take a bottle, and she would only take the bottle for a short period of time, and it would only be, it would literally be either just until she come home, or if she was forced to take the bottle, and she'll take it, but she had breast milk still. But she absolutely refused it. So when she did come home at night to go to bed, she wouldn't take the bottle. So I would be wasting milk.
Yeah, neither one of my children's moms decided they were going to breastfeed. So My kids are just smart as hell, but like
there's a
it was
lot,
kind
a
of easy.
lot, a lot, a
It was
lot of
kind of
health
easy.
benefits.
It's like it's kind of easy to wean your kids off the bottle when
Yeah.
you give them like macaroni and cheese or some shit. So
Yeah. But
with her,
I
they
eat
had their
table food.
bottles or whatever when they was like 1.5 or whatever, just to go to sleep. But for the most part, it's just like shit. I think I don't know. I think like a lot of parents kind of rush their kids through life.
Yeah.
So it's like the whole nursing thing, like for us, is like, black people, I should say. Like we look at it like it's weird as hell. Like when you see like a white person talk about, yeah, I nursed my child until I nursed my son until he was 5. And
Yeah, I'm
then
not doing that shit.
no,
I
I'm
think
just
that's
saying
weird.
it's funny as
No,
hell.
I just think that's a weird number to go to.
I
Like,
mean it is. Like when you see people saying they nursed their kids until they was like 2 or 3, I'm like, shit, my baby was off the bottle at a year.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like to us, it's kind of weird, but like I said, like we kind of rush our kids out the house.
Yeah. And see, I was always one of the people, even as a kid, that I knew growing up that when I did have kids, I wanted to breastfeed. I knew that. In elementary school, I knew I wanted to breastfeed. I've always felt like that I was meant to be someone's wife and someone's mother. Don't know why, don't know how, don't really give a shit. But that's how I've always felt. So I pursued that. So I did research on things. My mom was a CNA, so she went to nursing school and all this other stuff, whatever. She just, I don't know what the fuck. But anyway, I used to read her books. I was one of them nerdy kids that read shit that maybe most kids wouldn't even pick up to even glance through. So I was reading nursing books, psychology books, the dictionary, the encyclopedias, the thesauruses. I was reading that type of shit for no reason at all. And I discovered how breastfeeding, how it is. And then I also always wonder, why is it that humans are the one mammal that you rarely see breastfeeding? Like you see every other animal, every other mammal, I should say, they nurse their young.
I mean, you got to look at this too. Like shit, we drink cow milk.
I don't, but we did. I did.
Well, I'm just saying, like it's
but
like
yeah, it's like we're
I'm
the
saying in
only
general, like
species
humans drink
that
cow milk, goat milk, all kind of milk.
right. We're the only species that drink every other mammal's milk but our own.
Right. So.
And so that made me wonder, like, is there something wrong with it? So I looked more into that. Like I said, I was a fucking nerd.
But I'm saying, like, for like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the mother fucking around and like feeding her child like the way she's supposed to. It's
and I feel like that's always been. I've always felt like after doing the reading and everything.
The difference is we got options.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, yeah, if you don't want to sit your ass still, then fuck around and feed your kid. And then it's like, like humans drink liquor and shit.
And see, the thing about what people fail to realize and what I'm noticing since I became a mother, that it's a lot of false information as far as drinking while nursing. The process number one is you can't pump and dump. First off, it makes no sense. How is it that you can drink an enormous amount of alcohol and you think that it stores up in your breast milk? No, that shit courses through your blood. It's throughout your blood.
So
that means that you have to wait until it leaves your system.
Right. So it's like, okay,
and then
you gotta wait like maybe 48 hours or some shit like that.
No, it really actually is more based on your weight, your size, and everything, and how much you consume. Because if you take someone that's 150 pounds, they will have to wait 2 or 3 hours before they can breastfeed after drinking.
I just kind of look at it this way: like at some point in time, And I don't mean to say this to like piss nobody off, but it's like I think females got kind of fucking like just lazy with the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh shit, no, I could just go buy this motherfucking formula, call it a day.
Yeah,
Like
I believe that. I believe that wholeheartedly, because if you think about it, back in slavery times, they would take the slaves.
Breastfeed.
The slaves was forced to breastfeed the master's children or grandchildren or whatever the fuck children was there.
They had to feed the slaves' kids and they own.
Right. So if you go with that, first off, if you go back further than that, if you go back to Africa, right, where everything basically started from, and do you think that they was out here with cows, pumping cows to feed their kids? No, they was out here having kids and putting them motherfuckers on their titties.
Definitely wasn't fucking around. They didn't have no motherfucking Similac and shit.
Right. So how was the baby getting fed? That nigga was on that titty, getting all the nutrients, all the brain power, all the strength that baby can fucking consume until the parent and the child decided it was time for them to no longer do that. With
but
nursing,
then, like, okay, when did you get to that point? Like, because from what I understand, like a woman can have a baby, and as long as there's a child nursing, you can she'll never like lose milk. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's not true.
And I was like,
it is and it's not. When you're nursing, when you're exclusively nursing, like there's no bottles involved. And I'm not saying bottles as in formula. I'm saying bottles like you express milk. So you pump it, put it in the bottle. As long as you're nursing, your body is going to produce the amount of milk for that child or children. So if you only have one child, and once your baby gets whatever milk that your baby gets, that's why most women leak. When I was pregnant with my daughter, I didn't start producing milk for real until damn near I had her. Like for real. Like I think it might have been like the last month of my pregnancy. The last few weeks of my pregnancy, I started producing milk for real.
Well, my
Collins, whatever the fuck this shit is.
Leaking. Like when she was like about I think about 3 or 4 months, she started leaking a lot.
Oh no, my titties is big. But I leaked all the time.
They ain't big as yours, but like hers is big. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But see,
you know what I'm talking about. I ain't gonna say nobody's names on.
I know you're talking about.
Yeah, like, you know.
But your body produces the milk. Like you get the colostrum, whatever the fuck it's called, colostrum. You get that first, and then you get the milk. So the colostrum is what it's called.
Colostrum.
Yeah, that. For the first day or two, that's what the baby gets.
Like the actual, that's where the real nutrients and shit come from.
Right, and then you start getting the milk. Like that's like the pre stuff. That's like the basis to get your body, like the immunities and shit. Like this is what you need right quick to start you off, and then you get the milk. I was leaking immediately. Like I can't wear, as embarrassing as this is, not really. I ain't even really embarrassed. I don't really get embarrassed. But the funny part is this.
Nigga,
I tried to use.
How can you be embarrassed and you went to Murray Wright? We know
exactly.
We understand embarrassment to be nothing.
So I use the breast pad, and I would have to change them like every couple hours probably, and they were like full. Like you could literally I would use 2 at a time on each titty. Because my shit big. You could literally, I would have enough milk in each one that you can squeeze it out. Okay? And get a couple ounces of milk.
My bad. I was about to say
shut the fuck up. So my daughter grew out of newborn diapers.
No, like I was about to say, you probably tripped over one of them bitches.
Listen. Do you listen? Okay. Leaking is no joke. Okay, the milk buildup when you can't nurse ain't no fucking joke. My titties are big, so So if you have like the size that I am and the smaller size, I'll say like a B, C, maybe D cup, like single letters, not doubles, but singles, maybe doubles. I don't think so though. When milk fills up, their titties get like super hard, like rock hard.
Hey, y'all hear this shit? This conversation started off as hip hop, and then now we talking about her titties being too big for her fucking shit to be leaking.
And shut the fuck up.
Oh man, hey, like I said, this is my sister from another mister, so this is what we do.
Like I literally, when I was engorged, that's what it's called. It's called being engorged. My titties never got rock hard. They never got hard. I mean, I could feel them tightening, but they never got like super rock stiff hard.
Okay, wait. You talking about like your nipples or just like your whole titty?
The whole titty. When
the whole titty got hard? How the fuck does that happen? What the fuck?
When you produce milk and you can't release that milk, it builds up.
All right, listen. I remember like, both of my kids' mom was like boobs being a little bit like kind of like heavier, but I mean, damn, like you said hard.
Yeah, they like, get heavier because of the milk that you're producing.
No, you got gangsta ass titties. That's what it is.
But when you start producing milk and you're not able to, if you're not able to pump or you're not able to nurse, the milk just continues to build up, and it builds up to the point where it feels like your titty is going to pop. And unless you release that, it's painful. Like I said, females with smaller titties, theirs get hard. Like it gets hard. You can feel the hardness. With my titties, mine is big. So I could feel the stiffness in it, but I still had much cushion. I still had much jigglage.
Like, cause I really haven't done this much research on like, breastfeeding titties and shit, right? So it's like, okay, so what do they have? Like, I'm like, is there like a little sac that forms or some shit in the titty?
No, you have milk ducts that runs along the titty. So they all exit the nipple. And there's pores in the nipple, in each nipple. So like it's little bitty dots in there.
There's probably like 30 motherfuckers that's gonna listen to this shit. If they actually listen it like 2 hours in and hear you talking about like breast milk and shit, they gonna be like, yeah, so let me listen to this shit.
Shut up.
Like, hell yeah, she talking about breast milk. She said she got some shit in the freezer, nigga. I'm about to order that shit.
But it's like it gets hard and it fills up. It's like, and unless you pump or nurse or figure out how to release it, it's going to hurt. It's like, okay, when your dick get hard, if your dick get extremely hard, if your dick get really, really hard, say for instance, your dick is really hard and you're in jeans and it's like stuck, it can't go no further. That pain, imagine that times like 30 or 40 or 50.
I'm nasty, nigga. I'm gonna go beat that motherfucker, nigga. I'm about to get rid of that shit. Like, nigga, I'm about to.
But I'm saying, but the pain, imagine the pain that you feel before you go and do that.
Well, see, no, it's like, okay, listen. Like, if
I forgot who I was talking to. Lord have mercy.
You started a whole listen. Okay, listen. Okay, so if my dick get hard and I'm wearing a pair of jeans, I mean, it already don't hurt, but it's like, well, shit. If the motherfucker don't go down at the wild, I just gotta go ahead and I gotta take care of that situation.
Right. So, say for instance, if you're out, let's see. I'm gonna just say some bullshit. You on a bus? You're not gonna beat your dick on the bus.
I ain't gonna beat my dick on the bus, but once I get off the bus.
But you gotta wait until you get off the bus. So the whole time you're on the bus, your
I
dick
wouldn't
is
be
hard.
on the bus for the next 3 or 4 hours either.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
I'm just
anyway,
Like
anyway, I'm not. There's
I
no
mean,
way
I don't
I'm
know.
gonna be
You
able
got
to
some of
give
these
you a good
weird
analogy because
motherfuckers.
you're retarded.
You got some of these weird motherfuckers that beat off on the bus. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
We done seen it. Trust me. Like,
Yeah.
but it's like I'm not that fucking pressed about it. But at the same time, I mean, I get what you're saying. But for me, it's like, okay, well, shit. Okay, well,
I mean, if my dick
I
gonna
don't
be hard
care.
for a long, if I'm be on a bus for a long time, I'm gonna get the fuck off, go beat my dick and get back on the next one. Fuck it.
It's like shit. You know what I'm saying? If I gotta give one off, I just gotta give one off. I mean, shit, I ain't gonna. Like,
But
I be
anyway,
hearing.
anybody talking about your dick?
I'm just saying, like,
Um,
you hear niggas lying. Listen, you hear so many niggas lying talking about I don't beat off, nigga. You a lie.
yeah, I can't stand when niggas say that bullshit. Like,
Like,
no, nigga,
nigga,
I'm sure you do.
you done fucked around. That's just like when I hear females talking about it ain't really that important to me. Yeah, it's like shit. I don't play with myself. Yes, you do. Because every now
Definitely
and then,
do.
like, you think about some shit and ain't nobody there, and you just gotta touch yourself. God damn it.
Yeah,
And
even if you don't do it for a long period of time, you still touch yourself. You'll be all
right,
right.
like you did something. You did something enough to fuck around and make yourself feel secure. Or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Whatever it is. But
Right.
like, I don't know. I hope nobody beat off to this podcast at talking about breast milk and shit.
I
I'm
mean,
sure somebody
you
will.
talked about it now. Somebody just heard you talking about breastfeeding and titties and all kind of other shit. So, you know, you probably gonna come across a couple weird motherfuckers.
I mean, but anyway, breastfeeding, it has a lot of benefits, a lot of health benefits.
Of course.
So if, say for instance, your child is sick, if the baby has mucus, like milk is built up, with them nursing, the nutrients and the antibodies and everything that's in the breast milk is actually helping to heal the throat, break up the mucus. When my daughter was sick and she was congested, her nose was clogged up and everything. Everybody always say use the little suction thing. I hate that bullshit.
You
I'm
talking
old school.
about little bulb things where it's like,
yeah, that shit. I hate that, and then it's not hygienic to me. It just doesn't clean. It doesn't click right to me.
I mean, I guess it's a little bit better than what, like, you know, like, I guess my family's just kind of old school, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like when the baby's nose is like hogged up.
You blow on the baby mouth to blow their nose?
Yeah, like you blow it through,
Yeah.
you blow through their mouth or you blow through their nose or whatever to blow it out one way or another.
Yeah.
So yeah, we do shit like that.
I do that. I do that. I'm old school.
Right. It's like it'd be gross as fuck when it all come out, but you know.
Yeah, I mean it's on your face. You might get some of your eyes, some of your hair if it's a lot of it. You know, it's just one of those things. But like, say for instance, you blow through the nose, you blow through the mouth, but it's not coming out. It's like it's clogged, right? Mm-hmm. You can take some breast milk and like put it in the baby nose, like when they take when they inhale, and have them, hold them upright for a little while. The breast milk is breaking up the mucus and shit, and it's going to start draining. So when she got sick, like I said, I've done research. So I just looked it up and I said, okay, I'm going to try this and see if it works. Within 2 hours, the mucus and shit was flowing out of her nose. I was able to blow her nose. It broke it up to that point. I had a sore throat. My boyfriend had a sore throat. You can gargle breast milk.
Brandy. Hey. No.
You so stupid. So you can gargle the breast milk and it helps heal your throat. If you're congested, you got mucus in your chest and you got a sore throat, you gargle and you swallow it. It'll break up all of that shit. You break out, your face break out, clean your face, rub some breast milk on your face, like saturate your face and let it air dry. And it heals all of that.
I was about to say something. I'm gonna leave it alone because I do want to be monetized at some point, so I'm gonna leave that alone. I was about to say something. You could probably guess what I was about to say, but I'm gonna leave that one alone.
I'm not even about to think about what you was about to say.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't.
But it has a lot of health benefits, a lot of healing properties. Everybody say when your child get diaper rash,
Mm-hmm.
you have all these diaper rash creams and all this other stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when my daughter got diaper rash, I squirted breast milk on her, and that shit cleared up. I do that every single time she get diaper rash. Anytime she get it, I put some on her. I have some in the freezer. You can't.
You were supposed to have children before me. Before I started going about all this extra fucking shit, creams and all the stupid shit that I didn't have to pay for. See, y'all paying. I hope that anybody that listens to this shit later actually hears this shit
and take notes, like for real, like
diapers. Like I don't have this problem now because all of my kids are out of diapers, but God damn it! Like somebody could have told me this shit a long time ago.
I done gave my sister some breast milk because when she eats chocolate and drink pop, she breaks out. I gave her some and her shit cleared up in like a day or two.
Well, what that means is that she's allergic to it.
No, it doesn't happen every time. Like, and she don't get like a shit ton of bump. She might, if she drinks chocolate, dark pop, she might get a pimple. She might get one pimple here, one pimple there.
Well, that's probably because she just dehydrated. Because I be getting, I get a pimple here and there and shit. But see, the difference is with like males and females, unless you got a female like that got facial hair. Right. Like I get like an ingrown hair or some shit.
Yeah, but I had a style.
Fuck.
They are. We get ingrown hairs under our arms and on our cooch.
No, but I mean they ain't right there on your fucking face. Like
no, but it hurts way worse when it's on your vagina.
No, it hurt on your face too.
No, it hurts way worse on your pussy. Listen,
I don't have a pussy, so I don't know.
I know you don't.
I mean, like, listen, like shit, like, okay, yeah, I've shaved the genital area and shit, but it's like, okay, yeah, when you fuck around and get a shit, nigga, when you get a fucking razor bump down there, that shit hurt. What the fuck? Like,
I avoid razor bumps because when I shave, even when I do my underarms, I put a splash. I put alcohol on my hand and dab it on there, and I don't get razor bumps.
Ooh, that shit probably be like.
Sometimes it only burns like that if you got razor burn.
No, my thing is like I can't use razors on my face and shit for real neither. So it's like shit. I got sensitive fucking skin.
I know.
So I can't just rock with like, okay, like, you know, like you be watching the commercials, like, yeah, that white boy using the fuck out that shit razor.
Right. You can't use that.
I can't do it. It's like, it's funny because like the hair on my head is like soft as shit. Like my nieces earlier was like, your hair is so soft. You ain't even got black people hair. This and that, blah, blah, blah. I was like, what's black people hair?
I can't stand either one of them.
It's like shit, you know, I guess my shit was supposed to be nappy.
And see, that's another thing. Why is it called black people? Why do black people think that our hair isn't good?
I mean, listen, we just had a conversation about that too. So this is what I consider good hair. If your hair is healthy, it's good hair.
Right.
I don't care if it's nappy. I don't give a fuck if that shit straight, whatever the fuck. If it's healthy, it's good hair. And that's not even the whole situation of like genetics. That's just a whole thing of your hair is just fucking healthy.
Right. But like, have you noticed? Now, I don't watch the news. I don't read the newspaper. I don't do none of that. Right. A lot of the stuff that I hear about as far as like news go, I see it on Facebook or someone personally sends it to me or tells me about it.
Mm-hmm.
but I'm like that because that shit is too depressing. I don't want to be looking at the news and every other station is talking about someone got killed, murdered, raped, a baby then died or something. I don't want to hear about that bullshit. I don't want to see that on a regular basis.
I do.
I don't. I mean,
Because
because
I want to know where the fuck this shit happened, but
I mean, I get it.
I don't watch TV anyway, so.
But like, so I be scrolling through Facebook, or someone sends it to me in a message or a text message or whatever, and I see articles like the recalls on natural shit, the spinach, the cabbage, the lettuce, and it's like, think about it. When we were, and I'm saying we as in Black people, primarily. I'm not excluding any other race from this, but primarily Black people. When we were eating tons and tons and tons of fast food, right? Mm-hmm. You hardly heard any recalls on fresh vegetables, fresh fruits. You always heard shit like a certain type of spider that came over in a bushel of bananas or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It was some type of an insect that came over here. It was never a recall for E. coli or this bullshit or that bullshit or whatever. Have you noticed that the more and more Black people that are starting to eat healthy, you got recalls on fresh foods, fresh vegetables. You got this hair product this is doing this and this is fucking up that. You got recalls on shit that we have always used or it has been a part of our culture before we stopped using it and there was never an issue.
Right.
But as soon as we started going back to basically our roots per se, all of a sudden everything that makes us is harmful. You heard back in the day you did hear recalls on like canned goods. That was always something. Because it's processed, so it's always a possibility of some type of contamination.
Right.
But when it came to like fresh fruits and vegetables, you didn't really hear that. And if you did hear it, it was one every so many years. In the past 5 years that I've been back in Detroit, I've heard multiple recalls on lettuce itself, multiple recalls on spinach. I'm not hearing nobody say nothing about this insect, this bug is coming over here. And it's like
the iceberg lettuce or some shit like that was like it was salmonella or some bullshit like that.
Yeah.
How the fuck do you get salmonella on
lettuce? Right.
That's a
like
chicken
how?
Please.
Right. So how? I don't understand. So like y'all like kill the chicken and like rub the lettuce and process it all in the same plant? Is that how it like cross contamination? Because I never understood that.
What I mean in it, like I rinse everything anyway, so
right.
Like how the fuck do I end up with salmonella poisoning from a salad? Like or
right.
If like I said, I personally rinse the shit off, but that don't mean necessarily like wherever you go rinses it off.
Right.
But like you said, how the fuck did that happen? Like, okay, so y'all at the plant with the fucking
the lettuce and the chicken.
The lettuce and like you got lettuce and like, you know, chicken gizzards or something in the same fucking line. I don't know.
Right. Like you got like they alternate. You got chicken and then you got lettuce, and you got chicken and you got lettuce. Or then you got some pork to go tossed over there, so you get whatever the fuck you get from pork. You know what I'm saying? It's like it didn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But when
hold on, listen, I gotta let me break this down right now because a lot of people don't understand. Like, okay, so I stopped eating red meat, period, for a minute, right?
Right.
And then it was like, okay, no, I like beef, I like steaks and shit, right? So I kept eating my beef shit, but I don't keep eating. I don't eat pork. Pork. Every time I eat pork, that shit make me sick. Now that I really don't eat it, like, you know what I'm saying. Like, so I know that I fuck around and eat some pork. Like, you know what I'm saying.
You definitely gonna be sick as hell.
Yeah, I be sick as shit. Like, my stomach be all fucked up.
And see, I eat pork, but not really. I eat bacon because pork bacon is the absolute fucking best.
I mean,
I eat
turkey bacon nasty as shit.
I eat pork ribs. Beef ribs is cool. I do like beef ribs.
I don't like.
But
I don't like beef ribs. I eat them, but you know what I'm saying. It's like they gotta be seasoned the right way and all kind of shit. Like, I
it's
actually.
for me, beef ribs gotta be grilled longer. It needs to be super fucking tender for me to enjoy it.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. You know, I eat them bitches if I make them, but
If they're done right, I'll smash. But I like pork ribs, and I might eat like breakfast sausage, pork breakfast sausage. I do eat turkey breakfast sausage, but every once in a while I want the pork. So it's only certain things that I eat. I don't eat pork chops. I don't eat anything else of the pig besides, you know, bacon,
right.
ribs, um, and pepperoni.
But it's like when you just don't eat it at all.
Yeah, it fucks you up.
Yeah, that shit tear you up. It's like, man.
Because I don't drink cow's milk. And I had some one day by accident, and oh my God.
I mean, quite honestly, I think everybody should be lactose intolerant. Nigga, you a fucking human and you drinking cow milk.
Right.
Right, but I
And you
mean,
gotta think about what it's used for.
I
Like
use
when
I
you
use
drink,
certain, like, I use, like, you know what I'm saying, cow milk for certain shit, but I mean, at the same time, it's like, yeah, I can understand why somebody would be like all fucked up by using it.
like I literally don't use cow's milk for anything unless I go to the store and buy ice cream.
mm-hmm.
I eat cheese. I eat, dairy cheese. Um,
Well,
or whipped
cheese
cream.
is gonna be dairy cheese, fool.
No, but
You
I'm saying like cow's cheese, cow's milk cheese.
you ever had like goat cheese? Like, I mean,
No,
you got so many different types of cheese out here. It's like,
I'm not. I don't know if I don't think I've ever tried goat cheese before. Was it empty? Yeah, I filled it up when Cat came over.
as a matter of fact, let me look it up. Like, okay, what's the goat? With like goat cheeses.
I'm on Merck's podcast on her stream right now.
Live.
Yeah, we've been on this bitch almost 3 hours.
Hi, what up, boy?
He said, "What up?" He said, "What's up?" We started out talking about hip hop, right? And now we don't went to religion. We don't went to the LGBTQ community. Now we on. It's both of us because the topics just switched. That's how we've always been. It's just bouncing.
This is just how we have conversations.
Our conversation is never on one topic. It doesn't matter.
Normal.
Did you want me to take out both corned beefs? I took them both out.
One ain't gonna be enough.
Okay, I was right then. I took them both out though. Nope. And Ami ain't getting none of that. She gonna have to get some cabbage.
Okay, so goat cheese. There's a few of these. There's a lot of them.
Of goat cheese?
So you have Anari cheese.
Is that a goat?
Cheese. Anthotyros. Ardagh Castle cheese. I probably pronounced that all wrong.
Probably did. Okay.
Art Salad Goat Farm. Yeah, I'm probably pronouncing all this shit wrong. But let's see. Bannon cheese, Bastardo del Grappa, and Blue Rathgore are the first ones that popped up as far as, like, I guess, brands.
See, I'm not even about to play with that I don't need that many different types
I
of
mean,
brands because I don't know how they. Nah,
I kind of remember seeing like one of those, one of them, but
I
that
don't
was
think I've
probably,
ever seen goat
that was
cheese
probably my
before.
daddy. You hear me? That was probably my daddy fucking around buying some shit.
I think the only time no, as a matter of fact, I have seen goat cheese at a farm,
Yeah, it's like but shit. You be like,
but I don't recall. I don't know if I ate it, and I
why
don't
would
know if I liked it. I think I tried goat's milk too, but I don't know if I like that either. I
goat
don't
milk
know.
is good.
I don't know. I was a kid at the time.
Goat milk is
I don't
actually good.
remember. But
Right? 'Cause I didn't know nothing about goat milk until, and it's funny, me and Lawrence was sitting there, we was cracking jokes and shit, and he was like, "Oh, you want a glass of goat milk?" And I was like, "Goat milk is like goat milk is some real shit."
you so
He was like,
stupid.
"Yeah." So after that, I ended up going to figure out, like, okay, well, shit. It was like this little Caribbean restaurant or whatever on 7 Mile over there by uh 7 Mile and John Art. No, 7 Mile and Woodward
Okay.
that I went to, and I was just like, okay, I want to try goat
Let me
milk.
roll up.
My homeboy said something about it.
What, 2 or 3?
I mean, it just tasted like fucking
Okay.
milk to me. It was like it was thick as shit, but I was like, oh, okay. Hey, shit. It was like milk. Like if you drink like vitamin D milk, right?
Mhm.
Like that's the one that always comes with the red cap. Like when you drink
Yeah,
that,
that's the whole milk.
yeah, like whole milk and shit. Like that's pretty much what it tasted like. It was
Well,
it wasn't so weird that I was gonna be like, ugh, I ain't drinking this shit no more.
I'm not about to play with you. But like, I don't remember if I liked it. I don't remember. So, but
Yeah,
if you actually think about it,
man.
every mammal that breastfeeds, right, that nurses,
Mm-hmm.
they nurse for the size of that animal.
Mm-hmm.
Why the fuck would we need to drink cow's milk when we don't get as big as a fucking cow?
What I be trying to figure out is like, how the fuck does anybody like nurse a fucking 5-year-old?
I don't know. I don't even know why that's a normal thing. Cause somebody told me that. Talking about told me I should be nursed till baby 5. Excuse me,
Like if you could
not
if you
these.
could, if you could hold milk for 5 years, like while this child is like little, right? How the hell do you walk around and be like, okay, yeah, bring your big ass over?
Right, and that's the
Like,
thing.
yeah,
You only
you
produce
just
enough
came
milk
home
for
from
that
kindergarten. Like,
child.
you just came home from kindergarten. I know you hungry. Come here, bitch. Like,
Yeah, like that's the thing, because your body produces the amount of milk for that child or those children.
right. So it's like, okay,
So
you've been nursing.
if
If you've been nursing
you
for 5 years, that
no,
means that you
if you're still able to nurse at 5 years old and still be able to produce enough milk to satisfy a 5-year-old with eating nothing else, that means that's all you do is breastfeed.
right. You can't
Because
be
the
zero.
milk supply decreases as the child gets older.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Unless
I
you
would
are
think
just
that
popping
you
out
can't
babies
be.
every so many months where your milk supply never decreases, that's the only way you would be able to feed a 5-year-old with
Yeah,
breast
like,
milk.
what do you do with your life if you can fuck around and feed a 5-year-old to contention? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, this child is like comfortable once you done breastfeeding.
Yeah, like this nigga
That,
got the
that,
itis.
that little motherfucker had to lay there for about a good half hour. I'm sorry.
Actually, it would be longer than that because it takes
Shit.
on if my daughter if she hasn't eaten any table food that day, it takes her at 1.5 years old an hour to nurse. And like I said, I only nurse her at nap time and bedtime. Sometimes it takes me an hour to put her to sleep and she's nursing. That's because I only produce enough for the child for those feeding. and she's eating table food, so she don't need to have milk all the time.
Right.
If you're producing enough milk to where you can still squirt milk at a motherfucker, your body is either massively producing or you're nursing different age kids to where you can nurse a 5-year-old and that baby gets enough milk to be full because you're still nursing a newborn who needs that much milk. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a way, like your body, like I said, your body produces what you're supposed to have. And it produces according to how that child feeds. So in the first few months, most of the time, you are going through the multiple night nursing. You're going through the fussy nights where the baby don't sleep throughout the night, so you're nursing more frequently. So you produce an abundance of milk. With my daughter, she already set her schedule. She was sleeping at 9 o'clock at night. Her bedtime has been between 8 and 9 o'clock since she was born.
Right.
She will always, that's the time she will go to sleep. She will wake up at, say, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. She's up, she a nurse, we look at TV, look at learning, I was looking at learning cartoons with her even that young. So I was singing the alphabet to her, counting and all this other stuff. When she was a few days, few weeks old, reading poems and reading stories to her.
Right.
And so we would nurse for a couple hours, not necessarily 2 hours straight, but she a nurse. We'd play, do some, moving her arms and her legs. And she always tried to sit up, always tried to turn over from the time she was born. So I never hindered her. I never slowed her down with her progression. So when she was ready to eat, we nursed. I nursed on her demand.
You
And
want to
she'd
hear?
be up.
I think it's like so fucking stupid.
What?
Like they had to actually fuck around and like create a law to fuck around and let women nurse their children in public.
That shit is dumb.
That was like the dumbest shit to me. Like I remember, I don't know why when you were just talking, I was thinking about that shit. But it's like if you go anywhere, it's like okay, like nursing rooms and all kind of other little shit. Like okay, so you got to shut me off from fucking the world for me to feed my baby. Like what
And
kind
see, and
of
I hear I'm in a mommy's group, a new mommy's group on Facebook, and I'm in a breastfeed exclusive. Like that's all we don't do formula at all. It's all breast milk.
yeah,
Only group. So they be talking about how they get dirty looks and people say stuff to them about them breastfeeding their babies in public. And I'm like, I haven't breastfeeding my daughter in public since I had her. I gives no fucks. She hungry, she gonna eat.
I mean, you just said some shit like what a few minutes ago, like about like okay, so shit. You see a motherfucking cat lay the fuck down and that motherfucker feeding their kids.
Yeah.
How the fuck is it different?
Right. And
Like
so like
it's a titty.
it always bothered me, and it's like they
First of
always sit up
all,
there and say, "Oh my God, it's inappropriate. The kids see this." First off, what you think the kids see, the kid don't fucking see. The most sexual part of the body that the kid will see is the nipple.
even a lot of these motherfucking men that be mad about motherfuckers breastfeeding and shit, like nigga off rip. You probably got somebody pregnant before.
First off,
So
they
it's like
are looking at it. They definitely are trying to sexualize it.
and if you
Right.
out in public, man, motherfucker, you ain't about to fuck around. Like, let's say I'm at a Pistons game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like 15 or 20 rows down. You think I want to run up and down the stairs every fucking time a baby gets hungry? Nigga, like, get the fuck out of here.
Right. I'm not doing that shit. Or
No,
or you at a restaurant, you out to dinner and shit like that, and the baby get hungry, so now you got to you got to get up and go in the bathroom, and my food got to get cold. No, I'm gonna sit right there. I'm gonna scoop my plate over some. I'm gonna put my arm up there, put the baby right there, and I'm not covering her up.
So like I said, just do what the fuck you do.
I'm not using the cover.
I have no problem with it. Like, you
I
know what I'm saying?
never, I didn't, I don't use nursing covers. I've had people try to
I'm
give
just
me
saying,
nursing covers.
if you feeling like it's gonna be a problem, okay, cover up your titty. Oh, I mean, shit, do what you do. Feed the baby.
Listen, this is my thing. The part of the titty that's exposed when nursing is the part of the titty you see when a bitch got on a low cut shirt. It ain't nothing but cleavage. You don't see no nipple.
It's like, okay, you see, yeah, you put that shit perfect. Yeah, that's what you see.
So you're offended by me feeding my child, exposing the same part you see when that part is in a bra.
Right.
But you're not offended when I walk around with a low cut shirt on, or hell, with a see through shirt on, because bitches walk around with see through shirts on too. You're not offended by the titty at that point, but
Right.
because I'm providing nutrients and minerals to my child, it's offensive. You can fuck yourself, and you can suck my dick from the back on the left side on Tuesday,
I hear that.
because that makes no sense.
I mean, like I said,
How
I
can you be?
personally,
How can it be sexualized when what you're looking at is what you see when females wear
all women is like,
it's so cleavage.
man, you can't even look at that shit in a sexual way when you see like a baby attached to it. Like, you know,
You can't.
unless you a
You
weird,
cannot.
you got to be
And
weird.
like
You got to be
like
weird.
they and then I mean, don't get me wrong. It's definitely a group of people who do that, who can get turned on
I'm sure, but
from breast milk or nursing baby or whatever. But they're in a small group of weirdness.
right,
But
like that's where you are. Like, you know,
like you're definitely over
not,
here.
not you, but I'm just saying, like, you know, that,
Like you're definitely over here, like
that group of
way the
people
fuck
that
over
okay,
here.
you over there and you like
You
probably
need to
like
be over there by yourself. Like you just need to reiterate. Like I have seen people post on Facebook, or like they share a comment that was left on their post talking about if you're breastfeeding. I've seen two. If you're breastfeeding your daughter, you're making her a lesbian.
what?
Yes, hold on. And if you breastfeed your son, you're
Wait,
teaching
wait,
your
wait,
son to
wait,
be a rapist.
wait. Okay, so wait. If you're breastfeeding your daughter,
She's gonna be a lesbian
she,
because she gets titty in her mouth all
okay.
the time.
So wait. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so this would be the opposite end of it. It's like, okay, so if I'm sticking my dick in my girl, like my little girl's mouth, then what?
Right.
Like, you see what I'm saying? It's like, okay, no, I'm just a fucking pedophile. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like, come on, now. Like,
And then they say, I've seen somebody say that if you breastfeed your son, you're teaching him to be a rapist. That he can touch any woman any way he wants to or some shit. I'm like, really, really.
yeah,
So,
that it's
me
like
providing nutrients and minerals to my kid
as
equates
a man,
to you becoming
I can't agree with none of that shit. I
like.
can't.
I seen that. I was so motherfucking mad. I was like, wait a minute, what? And it was up under one of the posts. It was up under a lady, a woman in the I think breastfeeding group. She was talking about her breastfeeding, and it was I think she was breastfeeding her son, and she was out in public, and some people made rude comments like, "You need to cover that up. That's not ladylike," and this, and somebody commented and said, you do that in public at a park. What if a kid see you
I'm
and
gonna
this
tell you
and
like
this?
this. I'm gonna
And
tell
I'm
you
like, first off,
the people that commented were probably fucking females.
it was actually a mixture of both male and female.
I mean, the main motherfuckers were probably females because whoever
No,
the fuck
nope.
whoever the fuck she was with was probably some dude, and he was looking over there, her like breastfeeding his baby. You know what I'm saying? But like recently,
Now I don't now that I don't know if she was at the park with just the kids or if there was a family there at the
like
park.
if there was a police officer that I guess like a child got like taken out of a situation, and it was like a little baby or whatever, like probably like 6 months to like maybe a year
Mm-hmm.
at the oldest, and she breastfed the baby because the baby was hungry or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, and this was like down at like Brazil or some shit like that, or like Brazil or like one of them. I know it wasn't in the United States, but
Okay.
like she went viral because she fed this baby, and everybody was like, "Man, that's like that's so dope." This and that, blah blah. Like she fed this baby. Like that's the fuck you supposed to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like why is everything at this point like if you do anything that you're supposed to do for the next person so fucking extraordinary? No, like this is the type of shit that you're supposed to do.
Right. It comes back down to people, to the society we live in, where everybody wants to be accepted for something. Everybody wants to be included in something. Everybody has the hey, look at me syndrome. And when you think about it, think about this. We know gay homosexuality has been around since the beginning of fucking time.
Whatever. Okay.
So
It is what it is. Like I said,
we think about when we were growing up.
I don't mind. Listen, I'm not
It's
gay.
like
I'm not
you
anybody.
did hear, you knew people was gay. You knew that. They didn't try anything with you. It is what it is, And if they did try something with you, you dealt with that.
Man.
Huh?
I said we went to high school with a bunch of gay motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I was
it's like
around gay motherfuckers, but
it's like now all of a sudden it's like what now I'm not saying that we didn't care, but we didn't care. Because it's not like I'm not saying that we didn't care because it's like, you're less than a person or whatever, but like it never affected us. We never cared about what the next person was really doing behind closed doors. As long as you didn't cross any boundaries and you didn't cross any lines that was already established,
it didn't bother me.
Everything was fine. Now all of a sudden it's like that mentality is still there, but now it's like, oh, look at me. You should accept me for me and let me do this. But it's like,
no, what I keep hearing more so than anything is like, okay, well, shit. If you cool with this gay motherfucker, you probably gay. Like, no, I'm not gay. I mean, shit, but he cool people. Fuck it. Like, shit.
Right. And see, back then it was, okay, you cool with the gay guy or the gay girl, whatever it is, what it is. Right. You might have people that ask, like, have they tried anything with you? You try anything or, whatever. But
my whole thing is, listen, even if they did, it's not anybody's business. Even if they tried, what if this motherfucker was drunk or some shit?
Right.
That's just like if I'm drunk and I'm kicking it with somebody and I'm talking or whatever, and I might be like, okay, well, shit, hell yeah, shit, I'm gonna shoot my shot.
Right.
It's just apparently it's different if you're gay. That's where the gay shit comes into, like me having to fuck around and defend these motherfuckers. Like, you know what I'm saying?
But then it's like, for me, it's like, okay, so again, I care because you are a person and you deserve care, but I don't give a shit about what you do in the privacy of your own home. Right. I don't give a fuck if you holding. I don't care if you're holding your same-sex lover's hand and y'all making out in the park or walking down the street or doing whatever. Do you be happy? But so now it's at a point.
Let me give you a perfect example. Like me as a straight man, I still don't even have conversations with my friends about like, okay, well, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Me and her fucked around and did such.
Right.
Right. So it's like shit. Nobody knows anybody that I fuck with for real, unless it's just like I'm actually in a relationship with them.
Right.
At that point, everybody knows who I'm fucking with. Like,
right.
But if it's just somebody I done fucked around with, shit.
No, nobody might not know about that person.
No, nobody know who the fuck it was.
And then if somebody do know about that person, it's because they probably caught y'all out some fucking where together.
No, 9 times out of 10, if anybody knows that I fucked around with somebody, it's because that person said something.
But I'm just saying, you know how like, okay, you might be fucking around with somebody and like y'all go on a date somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And then they see it, but like, oh, okay, well, yeah, I seen him with this person. So then it's like, oh, well, he must be fucking around with that person.
And see,
but like,
make it as this, it's like, okay, so yeah, I got some homeboys that's kind of like, you know, I got some that's gay and some of them that's kind of iffy and some of the, I mean, but shit, I don't care.
Right, do you? It is what it is. But it's like now all of a sudden everybody wants their, I guess, identity.
They turn into some of them gay motherfuckers that just need to be fucking acknowledged for being gay, nigga. When you came out of the closet, you got fucking acknowledged. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, we get it. Okay, so you like same sex. Okay. You want to get married. Great. I feel like you should be able to get married if you want to get married. If you want to marry your husband, I mean your boyfriend, and you're a guy, then go ahead, marry him. It's whatever relationship you have with that person is between you, that person, and God. It ain't got nothing to do with me. But it's like all of a sudden everybody wants to be loud and proud about it. Like, okay, well now you have to pay attention to me, and now you are forced to accept this. Like with the transgender community, as fucked up as this is gonna sound, I know how it's gonna sound, but they full of shit. And I'm not saying that to be offensive to anybody. I'm not saying it to be mean or malicious or anything like that to anybody that is transgender or is considering that. But my thing is this right here: how?
Okay, stop forcing this shit down our throats. Like,
right,
shit.
Like, okay,
I don't give a fuck.
Like you wanna be identified as a female.
It's like what the problem is. Listen, this is what the problem is, and I promise you probably gonna be like, okay, yeah, that's real shit. But it's like me being black don't even matter as much no more, because if I ain't gay and black, then it don't make a fucking difference, right?
Yeah.
So me being will still consider that the age that I am, like being 35, about to be 36, a young black male that's not gay. If I get shot the fuck down, it's just a regular ass crime, right?
Right.
But if a gay black male the same age as me, that's a young black gay male that got murdered, and it was a hate crime now.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? Shit. Like, people don't pay attention to none of this shit.
Yeah, and then they're changing the definitions. They're changing the language. See, now you would be considered a cis male, CIS male,
right.
Instead of, because now you have transgenders who are changing genders to be the opposite. So now, if you were naturally born as male or female, you are considered cis male or female.
What is that?
Cis it has no fucking meaning. Me and Sheila looked it up. We looked it up in a bunch of different dictionaries and could not find a definition for CIS. CIS is a fucking prefix or an acronym for computer information systems or a couple other things, but it's there.
So what the gay community doing is taking original words and making it their own and making us sub.
Basically.
All right, hold on, wait. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, bro?
Oh, hold on. Let me take you. Hold on.
All right, can you hear me, bro?
I can hear you.
All right, bet. Think about this. You have a rainbow. Even though I'm not a Christian or whatever, I grew up in church, right?
Right.
The rainbow turned from a covenant with God to a gay symbol. Nobody said shit about it. Absolutely nothing. It was like, okay, now you turn around, you see motherfuckers with belts and earrings and chains and tattoos and all kind of shit. and it ain't got nothing to do with what the fuck we like. You know what I'm saying? Like what it was supposed to be, right?
Right.
Then you have butterflies, which they've turned into gay symbols and all kind of shit. So I'm not surprised about whatever the fuck she just said. Like as far as like what was it, CIS or SIS or some shit like that.
It's like you're a cis male or a cis female because basically you were naturally born that, so you are now a prefixed word.
So this takes us back
a hyphenated compound word or whatever.
Right, but this takes us back to what you said earlier. If God don't make no mistakes.
Right. And listen, it really fucks me up because it's like it was one I had watched. It was a documentary.
But they made motherfuckers first though.
Yeah, but in the Bible it says that homosexuality is a sin, but now it's law.
Yeah.
And listen, hold on. I watched the documentary. A pediatrician was talking about a child psychologist and a pediatrician was talking about this little kid, this family. Mm-hmm. The little boy, their family had a little boy and then they had a daughter. And she was a baby. The little boy had to be like 5 or 6 years old. So in a 5 or 6 year old's mind, the baby girl is getting the most attention. I think she was special needs. So she required more attention from their parent. So he took that as he needed to be a girl because the girl was getting the most attention. The parents took that as he was transgender and tried to get him on hormones at 6 years old. When the child psychologist talked to the child and asked them why do you feel like that? Or however she worded it, he said because she gets more attention. Parents is not asking their children why. They're just taking, my child said they want to be this, they want to be that, so we're going to do it. Bitch, your child want to be a goddamn monkey bar hanging from the monkeys tomorrow. Your baby think he Captain Underpants today. Your baby think he invisible 20 minutes from now.
Can I give you, like, listen, somebody gave me one response that I got that made the most sense. Was like, okay, if your child was born like a hermaphrodite, right?
Uh-huh.
And let's say the male organs were a little bit stronger than the female organs and shit.
But they removed the female organs? I mean, they removed the male?
Okay, like if it happened like that, then I could understand where it would be like, okay, well, I feel
you have a choice.
I was supposed
you can go and get that fixed. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel too.
My thing is like once you get older and you like, okay, I think I was supposed to be a girl. I mean, shit, you was like mixed up from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and see, they used to allow parents to make that decision at birth. They used to allow parents to say, well, what do you want? Do you want a girl or do you want a boy?
Like you didn't make that, and neither did God. So
right.
But what if, for instance, if like he said, the male organs.
That's what I'm saying.
Was
back in the day,
and then you do
cut
off the male.
But that's why
and come out with a fucking full goatee mustache.
That's why back in the day it was like back in the day they allowed the parents to make the decision to say, okay, so what do you want to have at birth? So the parents can say, well, we wanted a girl. So you take the dick off. And then later down the line, the baby grows all the masculine features and everything. That child has the choice. And I think that that's the only way that they'll be able to do it. But now they took it as no longer, you are no longer allowed to make a decision at birth. You have to literally wait.
Now you got some muscular ass. You got some muscular ass 16-year-old girl with chin hair.
No,
chin hair, a full goatee.
I can't say him.
Mars, a full goatee, no titties. You got pecs, nigga. You ain't got no titties.
But now they have to wait until they see what the child is going to develop into. And some parents wait until their child is old enough to make that decision. Well, what do you feel like you want to be? What do you feel the most about yourself? What do you feel is the strongest? And at that point in time, I feel like they are the only ones that can physically and honestly say they are either confused about what the fuck they are and they have the choice to be able to change that shit. But if you was born with all of your chromosomes as XY or whatever is XY, XX, right?
Like, think, you know, God, like, you know, that I don't have any hermaphrodite children, but I would figure that it's like, okay, well, if you pay attention over the next few months and you changing diapers and shit, you're gonna figure out what this child is supposed to be
at some point. But
that's
sometimes,
like,
but what they have,
you don't even really know your child's complexion for real until after like 3 or 4 months.
You really don't even know the eye color until months after that too. Shit.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, shit, it's a lot of shit that you don't know until a little bit later. So it's like, okay, well, you might think like, okay, maybe it's just an enlarged clitoris, but it actually might be a whole fucking penis. Like you,
right?
Right, but
and they
you know what,
like, now
they come out with both, but I'm just saying, like, shit,
I mean, that's rare,
do a fucking blood draw and see what type of fucking child it is.
Exactly, that makes more sense.
You can find out if it's a boy or a girl from blood test.
The thing about that's the thing with intersex people. That's what they're calling hermaphrodites now.
They have both male and female.
They at such a young age is not. One of them isn't dominant. It's just there. That's why they say to wait until after the child develops and get to the age of where
puberty.
Sometimes they do wait till puberty because at that point in time you will really be able to see. Because if you, looking at kids now, you will see some little boys and you'll be like, at motherfucking 7, 8 years old, like that's a little girl. But no, it's definitely a little pretty ass little boy. And you got little ugly ass little girls who like little ugly ass little boys.
Right.
So it's one of the things where you have to. They stopped allowing parents to make that decision because of that. But now it's easier for a person to go into their doctor and say, "I feel like the opposite sex," and go to and get prescribed hormones.
No, you said it's easier. What it really is like, okay, like if I turned around tomorrow, right? And it was like, I'm identifying as a fucking woman. I can actually do that shit.
Yep. You can go to the doctor. You can go to your primary doctor and tell your primary care physician that you feel wholeheartedly in your heart and in your soul.
They ain't gonna care how masculine I am. I can walk up in that motherfucker and be like, listen, my name is Mrs. Williams.
Yep.
And they can't say shit.
Nope.
Because these dumb motherfuckers made this shit the law.
In fact, what they would do is they would ask you a couple more questions and then they will send you to a psychiatrist. And then you'll sit down and talk to a therapist to find out if you're a sign, mind, body, and soul, or you can make these decisions.
Why do you think you're a woman? I mean, shit, I just felt like I was born in the wrong body. And all the fuck they gonna say is like, oh, okay.
No, they actually asked a lot more information.
Listen.
When I was in,
but they definitely do ask that shit. They ask that.
When I saw that Caitlyn Jenner's supposed to be posing nude for Sports Illustrated, I was like, yeah, they just lost about 3 million subscriptions.
I seen that shit and I laughed at that shit.
Look, check this out. When I was taking psychology classes in college, the teacher was trying to say that it's not a physical thing; it's a mental thing. Like
it is.
The brain can be wired as a female, but you're in a male body, or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? They said it's the wiring of your brain, not the physical attributes.
All right, but that's what I'm saying. Like, what causes that?
Them.
Were you necessarily wired that way, or were you raised by all women?
No, I think what it is, honestly, I think the trend started with the excuse of I done been with this many people and it's always been this way, so I'm gonna try this other thing. And then you also got the
the whole. It's like it is a mental condition. It's a mental
a lot of
illness
shit that goes
because
on.
it's like a form of body dysmorphia, to where like what you see isn't what's actually there. So
like
some people will say, "Well, when I look in the mirror, I don't see a boy, I see a girl." Like, bitch, what mirror is you looking in? Because you got a full face full of fucking hair and you look like a nigga. So what mirror is you looking at to where bitch got full facial hair and you look like a girl?
Right, but you got so many factors. Like, okay, let's say, like, okay, like you got young dudes that got touched by pastors and uncles and all kind of other shit.
That makes you see. What fucks me? This is the thing.
You got little girls that got fucked with by family members and shit, and they fucked around and they back on like male figures because they got fucked with by male figures while they were younger. Female figures, they turn around and just can't stand bitches and all. Like, there's so many different.
But it started from being gay, and then it started with being gay in general, and then it was you have the drag queens, the ones that transsexual.
You got people that's just loose, period, because they just want to feel loved.
Yeah,
all kind of shit that goes on.
But with the transgender community, it came from being gay in general. And then it went from being gay to like the drag queens and the dressing. And then it went from I dress like a girl, or I put on my girlfriend's underwear or whatever.
Let me say
oh my God, I'm a bitch. I was definitely born on the wrong body.
If you gonna be a gay man, just be the gayest motherfucker ever. You ain't gotta fuck around and try to trick people.
Right. And that's the thing. Like I said, it went from gay to trans to cross-dressing, drag queen to I want to be with the other sex. So you was already gay anyway. Just be a gay male or a gay female. Like,
What I'm saying though, they going to get fake pussies, facial structure surgery, all kind of shit just to fuck around and confuse the shit out of people.
And wash out the crack pipe.
Why do you do what the fuck urges you to do that? All right, nigga, if I was gay, I would be so fucking proud of being gay. Like, bitch, I'm gay as fuck. Like, shit, yeah. Like, you know.
But you know what? Back in the day, if you think about it, when we was growing up as kids, nobody really gave a fuck if you was gay. If you was gay, niggas really didn't. You know what I'm saying? Nobody really gave a fuck.
Still don't. But that gay people telling like everybody mad because they gay.
That's because you know what? And I honestly believe that shit started from the Me Too movement because everybody want to be included all of a sudden. Bitch, you've been gay since whatever. We already knew you've been eating pussy or sucking dick or taking in the ass or whatever the fuck your preference is.
Whatever it is,
no one cares. Now, when you think about it, think about this shit though. When we were growing up and we had all the gay people, or you can even go back further than that.
See that Murray, right? We had like 4 or 5 little gay motherfuckers that was walking around and didn't nobody pay them niggas no attention unless they was gay too. No, they were girls or something. Like, didn't nobody pay them niggas no attention for real.
Nope.
You just let them niggas do what the fuck they do. Had they whole little conversations in the lunchroom about sucking dick and every fucking thing else. We didn't care.
Nobody
heard it, but we didn't give a fuck.
And nobody was able to. You know what I'm saying? You were gay. Okay, you.
And then if you call, and then it was always, if you called a gay guy a fag and he wasn't cool with you, then he'll tell you like that's not okay.
Because I had a gay friend, but I stopped fucking with him when he got his shit.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I still got gay friends. You know. It's like this
was like in the 90s. Like the niggas was getting sex changes in the 90s. You know
they were called transsexuals at that time. Now they're called transgender, but it's still the same fucking thing.
Yeah, same shit.
You're transsexual. You trans from one sex to the other. Well, actually, no.
Now, if you say tranny on Facebook,
is more accurate. This is what the fuck you are at birth.
He should. Right. If you say tranny on Facebook, now you might end up in Facebook.
Medical condition with their penis didn't work. You know what I'm saying? When niggas do shit like that,
but see,
they should donate their body parts.
But see, think about this though, and when you think about the suicide rate of the gay community, and you think about the homicide rate of the gay community, from what it was to what it is now, that shit increased significantly. Once they started forcing everybody to accept that shit and saying this is what it is, and we got to do this, and y'all got to accept this, and call me this, and call me that. Now they're being targeted. Didn't nobody give a fuck? I mean, they were targeted at one point before.
I don't think that it's necessarily being like, you know, that it, like it ramped up or anything. I think that it's more so that the agenda is paying more attention. Like, you know what I'm saying? The agenda of it all is like, you know, is bigger. So you hear more about it because I'm pretty sure it was transgenders and gay people and all kind of shit getting murdered left and fucking right years ago.
Yeah, so, but what I'm saying is like now.
Right like now, like, the thing is like, okay, if you do something to a gay person, it's a hate crime.
Yeah, but you know, Detroit, Palmer Park has always had gay pride.
Listen,
we've always had pride parties and pride parades here in Detroit.
If you look back to right after 9/11 and shit happened, right? Let something happen to an Arab motherfucker, it was a hate crime. Think about it. Like I said, what it is like, okay, so
part of it,
whatever agenda is being fucking pushed is what the fuck they move with. Like, you know what I'm saying? So right now the gay agenda is, okay, well, if I get into a fight with this dude that I didn't tell was like, you know, I didn't tell this straight man that I was a fucking man at birth, and he punched me in the fucking face. Now it's a hate crime.
Yeah.
That's what I said. Pay attention to how the fuck shit works for real.
But then I think about this. I read an article, what was it, last year sometime, I believe. I was on Facebook, and the University of Minnesota was trying to put in the school code that if a student or faculty calls a mispronounces a student. So like if the person identifies as male, you looking at Stephanie in class and you say, yes, miss, or hi, Stephanie, or whatever, and they identify as Steven and you address them as miss, you can lose your job or be expelled from the school because you didn't identify them as them or zer.
Which is some bullshit.
I was like, wait, what? I said, so you mean to tell me if I call it like I see it, if I see a female.
Like, listen, like, okay, so I was on Facebook, this was a while ago, right? And I saw like this picture where it was like a girl's bathroom, a boy's bathroom, and then there was a bathroom in the middle that said Transformers.
I seen that shit.
But I mean, it's like, okay, listen. Personally, I am not comfortable with some dude that identifies as a girl being in the bathroom with my little girl.
Exactly.
And the same way on the other end, to be totally honest with you, because shit, like, what the fuck? Like, no, y'all got a bathroom, we got a bathroom. We already had the
bathroom thing. Is that they try to give them their own actual bathroom. Like, we already have the public open gender bathroom.
Listen,
why do we have to have one that say male, female, and other?
Hold on,
whatever the fuck they're gonna call it.
Pay attention, sis. As black people, we already had to go through black water fountains, white water fountains. Black water fountain dirty as shit. The white water fountain pristine than a motherfucker. We
also had to do with black schools and all white schools. And so
we already had to go through the Jim Crow era. Now I gotta worry about whether the fuck my motherfucking daughter is gonna be in the bathroom with somebody that grew up with a fucking dick. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And then on top of that, I forgot and still at the University of Minnesota, if your daughter goes to this college, right, and she's in her dorm room and her roommate identifies as a female, but this bitch still got a dick, he can room with that female.
Right.
Because he identifies as female. Like, do you know that is probably how campus rape happens?
Right, like that's
Because
a fucking
if
problem.
people go in there and say I identify as a female,
and then get turned
on by his roommate because she walking through and like whatever the fuck she want to walk around in her dorm room in,
I look at
and
it
she
this
get
way,
raped, then it's oh my god, we didn't know.
I remember we were just talking about Dwayne Wade's son. It's like, okay, he's 12, right?
He too young.
So
he can't tell me
like,
shit.
If I'm 12, I ain't never had no pussy, and then let's say I go to college, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm identifying as a girl, so I'm rooming with this girl. And let's say, like, you know, she just like what he may consider to be like a bad bitch, right?
Right. She just let freak hoe and she sucks some dick.
Oh god, shit. But she think he gay. She ain't paying this nigga no attention.
Right. Because that's generally what happens. That's how some guys used to fuck bitches because they say they're gay. And for some odd reason, people feel like they could turn a gay person. You had gay females talking about, oh, I can fuck him. He'll fuck with girls after me. And gay guys will say, well, shit, I bet you I can make her like dick. Okay, well, then you can try it. And if they don't, then what?
And I spoke
on your shit was trash. Like, does it really like? I don't know.
If a girl is fucking 12 years old and she ain't never fucked around with no dude, she ain't never like basically like, you know, she might have fucked around, like hung out with her friends and shit. And like I said, she sees like a grown man body, nigga. She fuck around and she get to high school and she see a senior and be like, well, damn, he on the football team. He's sexy. That you can't fuck around and fart that girl.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? This is what she's supposed to be looking at.
Uh-huh.
But if she's
you know what? I had this conversation with your brother.
This is a motherfucking like the 6th or 7th grade that you just being like, oh, well, no, her name is Carl, but her name was Carla at first. No, you doing too fucking much, man.
I had this conversation with your brother. He said, my baby niece is gay. She in the 6th grade. I said, how she know? He was like, because, you know, this. I said, well, first off, nigga, she ain't even been with a nigga before to say that she don't even like penis.
Right.
And in the 6th grade, you might kiss a boy, but you not really getting no feelings for real. That's you don't feel shit. So how you gonna tell me that she know that she gay?
I had this little, it was like, you know, like these 2 little young kids from around the neighborhood and shit. And we was going out and we was like cleaning and doing merchandising and shit, right?
Okay.
So my man's asked the little girl, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, so how old are you? And she was like 17. And he was like, he was like, so I just gotta ask, like, you gay? And she was like, yeah. Like, he knew she was gay. You know what I'm saying? But he was trying to like lead into the point of like, you know, so he finally asked her, like, so you ever had sex with a boy? And she was like, no. He was like, so how you know you don't like boys?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And see, that's a logical question. But right. when you think about it, when you think about the society we live in, it's not going to be just a logical, innocent question. They're going to look at that as this person's trying to fuck that person. Like, that's not what that means. That's a real serious question. If you've never experienced...
If you look at society right now, the nation and every fucking thing else that we live in, first of all, they trying to make all the fucking boys act like fucking girls.
Yep.
So now a woman, listen, a girl is not going to be attracted to a man that acts like a bitch off rip. That's not going to happen.
Nope, that's not something that happens natural in nature. You don't go for the weak one. You go for the strong one.
Right. And that's just like men are not necessarily going to go straight for the female that's like, you know, when people say like, okay, you a strong black woman, a lot of times that's not a strong black woman. That bitch is bitter.
Yeah.
Angry.
Yep. They don't. A lot of people don't they got the definition of what a strong black woman or what strong in general means.
Yeah.
And so when you take it into consideration of a strong black woman or a strong black male, and you have a conversation with these so-called strong black people, the shit that they say and what makes them the strong black person that they are is all shit that makes them bitter.
Exactly.
Like, what are you doing with your life?
Listen, it goes for males and females, but like, you know, you don't never hear nobody talking about, like, not for real, like, where you don't really hear, like, okay, yeah, that's a strong black man, this and that, blah, blah, blah. He went through such and such and such and such. This nigga took 30 gunshots, he's still here. Like, you know,
right.
Like, but it's like, you know, strong black woman is just like a lot of times, and it's like, I hate to put it this way, but a lot of times when you hear that phrase strong black woman, it's like some female that just fucked around and turned around and denounced black men and all kind of other shit, and she just mad as fuck at the world.
Yep. Miss Independent, I don't need no man for this.
I don't need no man for that bitch except $40 to fuck.
And then my thing is like, okay, you're absolutely right. You should be able to stand on your own 2 feet and not need a motherfucking person. But at the same time, you do need him.
The fact of the matter is, people need
him. You might not necessarily need him for the shit that you're naming, but you need him.
Right.
You need him to provide to be the provider. You need him to be the protector. You need him to.
If shit go left, you gonna need that man's shoulder, because your homegirls ain't gonna do shit but be like, okay, baby, it's gonna be okay. I'll pray for you.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, when you just went through it with a digger, you need to hear something sometimes from another man.
Yep. And that's why I used to always come to you or Eddie, and I will talk to y'all.
But that's what I'm saying. See, you got good sense. A lot of these motherfuckers don't.
They don't.
That's just like, okay, if I'm going through some shit with a female I'm fucking with, I'm gonna call one of my female friends like, okay, man, I gotta get some shit off my chest.
Right. I need to know if I this is what I say. This is what we was. This is like, what the discussion was.
Like, am I tripping or what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right. Well, am I in the right for this? You know what I'm saying? Let me know where I stand. So then you gonna tell me the truth, and then we had that conversation. And a lot of times, a lot of women looks at it and say, "Well, my mama ain't need no man. She did this, and this," and it's like, okay, my grandma ain't did this. My great grandma. So what the fuck is it about y'all that y'all can't keep an actual man around to do the things that a man is supposed to do? Why do you feel like it's empowering because you're a single black mother?
You know what? I actually heard like some of the realest shit from a female recently. I forgot who I was talking to, but she was just like, okay, so if you got a man and you know that he got like your best interest and his best interest in hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let's say he ain't got a job, but he doing everything he can to fuck around and stay on top of shit, this and that.
Uh-huh.
And let's say she working, but let's say she working like a 9 to 5. She ain't supposed to look down on that man, just like he ain't supposed to turn around and look down on her if it was the opposite situation.
Exactly.
And I was like, you know what? I was like, well, shit, that's real shit. But nowadays, that's kind of fucked up to even expect. Like,
but then you also got to think about this. This is where it really gets it. It gets at. You got. Why is it that you have people that, okay, first and foremost, the relationship is never 50-50. I don't know why people just want to give half into a relationship, but that's not what you do. When you're in a relationship with somebody and you're trying to build something with somebody, you don't give half of you. You give all. Right. You give 100%. Because therefore you're actually putting forth that effort. So
if I get into a relationship, that shit 100. Ain't no motherfucking 50-50.
Exactly. So, and that's the thing. Because people always say the relationship is 50-50. No, it's not. No, it's not. Because where's the other 50% going?
Like you said, if it's 50-50, you giving half of yourself and this motherfucking giving half of themselves.
And y'all will never be a whole because y'all are not giving y'all all.
You're
so that,
right,
means that 50% of you is giving that attention is going somewhere else.
If you're doing a 50-50 relationship, then your grade point average is 50%. That's an F, bitch.
Exactly. You failed.
That's an F. Wait, no.
Every which way you slice it, that's the motherfucking F.
But it's people, like I'm trying to figure out like see me, like I said, like you see, I'll be in hiding and shit. I'm like, nope. Like so, like if I'm giving 100%, and she won't give me 10%, then shit, I'm fuck you. Like
it's a wrap. Go back to business. Move on to the next.
I'm going back this way somewhere. Shit.
And I don't know why people think that because okay, if we doing 100, but I'm doing 100 and he only doing 75, I don't have to stay there and deal with just the 75% of this person. And they sit up there and it's always, and they always sit up there, a lot of people always will say, oh, you left him or you left her when she was doing this or whatever, she was down or he was struggling or whatever. But we're struggling or not, either you're going to give me 100% or don't give me none, because I need to, if we're doing this as a partnership, then we need to be both all in.
Right.
I can't maneuver. We can't make this work if I'm the only one putting in 100% of work.
Right.
That's not equal trade-off. So that means that something is lacking in a relationship, which means that there's arguments more, that there's more arguments going on in the relationship, which means that whatever things that you're arguing about is always going to boil down to some kind of financial something, some kind of money problem, some kind of they talking to someone else, or they're not doing this. But if you got two people, if she working 9 to 5 and he's still trying to find a job, but he got a little hustles on the side to bring ends meet to make shit happen, he's giving you 100 of him. Why would you leave that? You see this person giving 100, so you will leave that from this person giving you 100 to someone who has a job. Say for instance, this nigga work at Chrysler, Ford, or whatever, the one of the big three that everybody want to work at while they in Detroit. He worked for one of them. He bringing in good money. He got good benefits and all this, but he fucking other bitches. That means he's only giving you 75 to 50% of himself. But you'll leave the nigga who is trying to find a job to make sure he can provide completely, to maybe possibly you not even having to work.
Hey,
for a nigga who is fucking other bitches, you worrying about this nigga, what he doing with this girl, that girl, the other girl, but he work at Chrysler. Like that makes no sense. You're not gonna benefit from that.
Hey, you just made me think about some shit.
It's not gonna be a benefit to you.
So
at all, no way, shape, form, or fashion.
Let me see if I can find this. Read it.
Instead of you looking at the positive from this situation, you're looking at it as a hindrance. Oh well, he lazy. He don't want to do this. No, bitch, he's trying. Yep, it's fucking. No, bitch, he's trying to provide. He's trying to make sure that he can take care of you completely without you doing anything. But instead, you went for somebody who
high 4 or low 8.
Low 8. I know females who have done that. Like left a dude who was doing everything, bending over backwards for their asses, and they went ahead with somebody who wasn't doing a portion of any of that.
I mean, shit,
was beating her ass and everything. And she like, well, yeah, we in love and we gonna do this. Really?
I've been there. So I mean, shit, I understand.
Okay.
So
and they think that shit is okay because he's giving me. He's doing this, and then they got that saying, "What's understood don't need to be said." No, bitch, it needs to be said.
Because y'all might not be.
Everybody don't understand the same. So what you understand is y'all fucking that you thinking that it's just you, and it's not you. You're a convenience. You're not a priority.
It's a pretty black cat, but he's dumb.
Pugsley is retarded.
All right, look. So basically. I was looking at the status, I think yesterday, right?
I gave him back when he first got here.
It was either yesterday or the day before yesterday.
He ain't had another one, but he do like the water. When I was giving Ami her bath, when she was getting ready to get out of it, he was over at the back of the tub doing this in the water. Put his whole paw in there. So I'm gonna dunk his ass in there next time.
I'm trying to find this status.
Merce.
Yeah, I'm here.
I don't hear you no more, my dog.
I'm trying to find this status so I can read it word for word. Right?
I seen the record land when I took the car reef out.
Because it's right on topic, right?
If you grill it.
This motherfucker
if you grill it.
This girl posts so much shit all the time.
Because it'll be more tender. I want it to be as tender as possible. But I love the way you grill it. Maybe what about the George Foreman? No? Regular grill?
No, because that rack that I got in there gotta go on the grill whole, and then I'll cut it.
Oh, okay.
After.
So you can get one from Audi or something? Merce.
Yeah, nigga. I'm here. I hear you.
And all these getting all the bread.
I don't even have my damn messenger up, and I don't know how to get to it.
Okay, apparently I ain't about to find this.
I'm going on mute.
Okay, do your thing. All right, so I'm really sitting over here. I'm trying to find this status that this female Detroit artist wrote either yesterday or a couple days ago, y'all. And it's pretty much down the lines of she's asking the question like, okay, maybe some men aren't really cheaters, they're just meant to be with more than one woman. And I mean, I guess that could kind of make sense, but at the same time, it's just like her logic on it was kind of threw off, I guess. I don't know. But she was talking about, like, you know, pastors and businessmen and all these type of motherfuckers that were like cheaters. Like, you know, she came across. And I'm like, I don't know about that. Like, especially a pastor, like you one of these motherfuckers that's sitting up here, you marrying motherfuckers that's telling people like it's just like you and this person to have and to hold forever. And then you turn around and you can cheat because you meant to be with more than one person. I've always said anyway, like considering the fact that there are more women in the world than men, like for real, that maybe men were supposed to have like more than one woman, but at the same time, I still feel like, you know, considering today's society and whatnot, like, you know, yeah, she kind of a little bit stupid. Because I know damn well I ain't about to be like this single dude or this dude with a woman that's gonna have one woman and then she turn around and be like, oh, well, no, yeah, you're supposed to have like 8 girlfriends. Dumb motherfuckers. This shit. The way the world works, it's like shit. If you got 4 or 5 different women, you a rich motherfucker. Cause women alone are fucking expensive shit. Okay. You say I'll take you to dinner. Especially in Detroit, I can't take you to McDonald's or Coney Island or some shit most of the time when you comfortable. Like shit, nah, you want to go somewhere fancy as fuck. So now I gotta spend at least some Texas Day Brazil money or some Red Lobster money or something.
Merce.
What up, though?
In that case, we can add a bit.
Fuck you over there. What? I still ain't found this. I still ain't found this status. I wanted to read it word for word, but yeah, like I was saying, she the status itself was saying like maybe some men were really meant to like have more than one woman. But all right, y'all, this is my favorite day. You know,